Imagine being a fucking gay, like fucking cholo dude, and just like thugged out, but like, fuck it, I swallow, dude. I ain't scared.
And welcome to Anything for the Podcast, episode 12, dude. My name is Memo.
I'm Willie.
I am Chris.
And I'm Nate.
Yeah, dude, our guest today is my dear old friend Nate.
Nate Dog.
Nate Edge. Oh my goodness, dude. Nate, welcome.
Why, thank you. How's it going?
Oh, dude, it's going, man. Dude, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
You were like one of the first ones, like, okay, who do we want on? Well,
honestly, yeah, you were on the top of my like people I wanted to interview list.
The COVID professor himself.
The COVID professor himself, dude.
I'll own that name. That's good.
Oh man. So all right, guys. Well, Nate, we'll just give a quick bio on who Nathaniel is. Nathaniel is a dear friend of mine. We met in 10th grade.
Who the fuck is Nathaniel?
That's Nate. All right. So Nature over here is yeah, so he and I met in high school, 10th grade. We weren't friends until the end of 10th grade. When we had a AP European history with Mr. Barbaria at Burbank High. Yeah, we were fucking nerds, dude. We were fucking nerds, and we had
only references.
We had, we had.
All right, bro. I'm gonna take your word for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it
wasn't there.
It was our high school teacher. That's why this is the bio part, and this is our origin story. And we had a substitute teacher for a week because he got really sick. Our teacher, and this guy had no idea what he was doing. He's like, guys, I have no fucking clue about anything.
We were watching Rambo in class.
He was showing, he brought a portable DVD player with like the little laptop screen on it, and we were watching Rambo 3.
Yeah. And he's like, this is how you take care of a bullet wound. And so he like pushes it through and lights it up with the gunpowder in it.
Oh, yeah. He gets a signal flare. Yeah, he gets a flare.
Yeah.
And he sticks it in his bullet wound on his side, and he lights it so that it caulders the wound.
Yeah.
How old was the sub?
The sub was probably maybe like how old we are now. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm gonna make a guess that that's probably right.
So he was a young
guy. Yeah, he was a young dude. Yeah, he was a young dude. It was pretty cool though. It was funny. And
probably ain't subbing anymore.
Yeah, and then
probably not.
Nate and I sat next to each other, and our friend Sean was there too. And we were just like watching this guy just be so weird. Like, all right, cool, dude. And then Nate and I were like talking about how like, yeah, dude, that's metal, dude. That's pretty brutal. And then we started talking about music and shit, and it just started from there.
Yeah. No, actually, I still think one of the best parts of that class was getting him so off topic that he wouldn't put stuff on the test.
Yeah.
So he was so easy to get off topic. We were talking about the French Revolution, and one day we got him talking about quantum physics in the same class.
Oh,
I
that's
remember
right.
that was like one of the like things about him.
Yeah.
Like you'll be able to just like get random topics and it'll just start taking. I've heard that like my first year there. And
him and our other senior year, Mr. Shaw.
The
economics teacher, dude. We got him to show us his favorite camp spot at least like 10 times in a week.
Yeah, Shaw would fucking talk about. I don't know
Anything.
how we got to it, but he's just like. Yeah, I cheated on my wife once, and I'm like, wait.
I didn't need to know this.
Supply and demand. Where does like?
I'm the only one here that didn't go to Burbank High.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Fucking weirdo.
Damn, dog, you're the outsider today. Oh no, but yeah, that's how Nate and I met, and then we talked music, and then we had classes after that, and we've been best friends ever since.
Multiple
dude.
bands
Essentially,
together.
multiple bands.
Oh, dude.
True.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What was our first attempt at a band? Necrosodomization. Yeah, dude. We were in a grindcore band, and we wrote one song. One song.
Yep,
Cuntformist, dude. No lyrics.
No, we just literally were just like, let's just do random screams on this the entire time. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, guys. So that's a little backstory. We'll talk more about Nate and I as we progress through the Lockjaw. Oh yeah, dude. Lockjaw. R.I.P. Bro.
You know, that's
Seriously.
the last. Okay, so look, since we're on the topic,
Yeah.
that's the last time I saw you. Was Lockjaw's last show?
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, because that was like pretty close to.
That was December. December of last year.
Yeah, and then. Yeah, because
The
after
time
that.
before that was the wedding.
Yeah, because we got. Yeah, because the year before that we got. Yeah, so. Crazy thing about that. So. Essentially, the reason that probably the last time you saw me is right after that I was doing heavier student teaching.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
And so, like, I couldn't work at that time period, which that was the thing is like leading up to me teaching, I literally have been out of work since like literally December. So from
Holy fuck.
December till August, I was out of work because, I had a student teach. And so when you're student teaching, you're not getting paid for that. It's
Really?
just, yeah, so I was teaching 3
damn,
periods.
dude.
So all those student teachers that we put through hell weren't getting paid.
They're not getting paid.
They're
They
just-
have to do it though.
They were paying their dues.
So it's like an
Yeah.
internship, pretty
God.
much.
Yeah,
dude.
it is, except to the state. So it's, so
except to the state.
so basically, first semester I was able to still work because it was only one period that I was student teaching for. So I was working during that. And then second semester came around, it's 3 periods, and then you still have to stay an extra hour to do extra stuff.
Damn.
So,
God.
and then I'm still going to my classes
Yeah.
full time, and then I have to do, my planning for lessons, and then I still have to grade stuff. So it was like, I can't work. So
God damn.
I know. I think
Yeah.
it's the same as for like professors at least for Cal States, because one of my professors, we were talking again off topic of the from the course or whatever, but he's like, yeah, as a professor, you don't just teach your students, like you also have to do research, and you also have to actually like publish like articles, and
Yep.
you have to like critique other professors and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like it's not just
Yep.
one thing. You have to like, there's 2 other parts to being a professor. I was like, oh shit, that sucks.
So you have to be a
dude.
critic
Yeah.
and a fucking professor.
yeah, no,
A
I mean,
critic, and then you actually have to be.
Well, of course
open
you gotta
to
do
being
research. You gotta know what the
criticized.
fuck you're talking about.
Right.
yeah,
no,
I
but
mean,
like-
I'd
like
be kind
you-
of scared
you-
if they didn't.
yeah.
Well, I mean, they
Yeah.
get their degree in whatever it was, and then just you just don't stop learning, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with that, because I have some friends going that route right now where they're getting that. If you're at a university level, yeah, you have to do that. If you're at more of like community college level, that's
Yeah.
not included. So
Oh, God.
the only time you really have to do that research is if you go university route.
Okay.
Personally, I want to get to university route because, number one, I would prefer to teach college level courses.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean,
These
just
kids
for
are
very-
already testing
Better
your
pay,
patience,
better
huh?
benefits.
not
better
necessarily.
students.
I mean, and benefits actually, dude. LAUSD, they hook it up, man.
Really?
Yeah, I don't pay any of my health, dental, or vision stuff.
Nice.
For sure.
And they give you like top tier stuff.
That's
so it's
good.
like it's great for me in that aspect, and they also pay for my wife. So it's like
Yeah.
That's
so,
cool.
and I don't pay a single cent. So in that instance, it's great. But the thing with being at university levels, number one, you get to choose a curriculum a lot heavier,
Mhm.
and at the
Okay.
same time, it's just people actually care more about what they're doing there.
Oh, right.
Whereas most people in high school, they're like, whatever, I'm just trying to get through, and I
Uh-huh.
get that because I remember high school. So
Yeah.
yeah.
God.
No, but what do you teach?
I teach English, so
Oh.
language arts.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was my worst subject. Jesus
Dude,
Christ, I hate
really?
English. Yeah, I'm a numbers guy. I
Oh,
see ones
okay.
and zeros, and
Yeah.
it makes sense. English, when I gotta like be creative, like
No
like
habla?
in literature,
No
I'm
habla
like,
inglés?
Jesus. Because for me, I didn't like them telling me like what to read. Like I'm like, I have no interest in this, and like you want me to write 3 pages on it. Like what? Like
Right.
No,
fuck.
I mean,
And then just writing. I try to like
Mhm.
make it sound like it was just too articulate and shit like that. But like then I noticed that like when I just like talked during like as an essay, like it just flowed through.
yeah, I mean, the first, because we were starting with poetry
Uh-huh.
as our beginning stuff for this year. The first thing I introduced was actually a Tupac poem. So
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to make it more relatable for them,
Yeah.
and I try to avoid just stuff only written by old white dead dudes because that stuff's really
It's
boring.
it's not appealing to.
No,
No.
no.
Not anymore.
And so I was like, hey,
Edgar Allan Poe is just like
well,
irrelevant right
well,
now.
yeah, I mean,
What?
depending. I mean,
Shut
some of
up,
that stuff
man,
can be pretty fun.
Fuck man, I remember having to read like Fahrenheit 451, Angela's Ashes,
Yeah.
To
Okay.
Kill a Mockingbird.
TKM I think is important though. I think that's one of
That
the
one
more
is one of the
important-
few
yeah.
that's actually still relevant.
But like, so you came into teaching at a really weird time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you came
Yeah.
in. You came in after the strikes.
Oh,
Like
Yeah.
after everything was settled to help teachers more, because when I was going to LAUSD, it wasn't what it is now
Yeah.
at all.
No, definitely.
And now you're a COVID time teacher.
Yeah,
Dude.
so basically the strikes were happening while I was still going to school to be a teacher.
Yeah.
So that stuff was like, okay, this is all really relevant, so I was paying pretty close attention to it. And the union luckily is really strong here for teachers
Yeah.
and advocating for them. So originally like one of the governor people was like, hey, we're not giving you anything.
Oh man.
And
Then
then
what was it that they wanted?
so there was a list of things they wanted. But they basically were willing to let go most of it if they would agree to higher pay, and I think there's one other condition as well they were really worried about. And the guy basically they were talking to was like, "You're not getting any of that."
Okay.
And so it was, and so then the strike happened, and then the mayor, they went to go meet with the mayor finally, and the mayor's like, "Yeah, you can have all of what you're asking for."
Okay.
So
Beautiful.
like it worked out well. So sweet, we have that. But then that all happened. I was like, okay, cool, things are going good. And then the thing with going to CSUN, like I chose CSUN for teaching specifically because they're actually really good at putting out teachers.
Yeah, they have a pretty accelerated teaching course.
Oh yeah, and beyond that, I was able to do it while just being an undergrad, so I didn't have to get my bachelor's and then my teaching credential. I did it at the same time, so I was still able to get FAFSA because university's expensive, so that helped out. So, but the thing that was crazy is because I started student teaching in 2019, and so that fall I did it all in person, and then most of my second semester was all in person. Then March hit, and immediately we started doing it online, and that was just like, okay, cool.
How'd you manage, like, what changes and, like, shit, like, because I don't know.
We haven't been in school for so fucking long.
Yeah.
I recently asked
Yeah.
I did like an alumni panel thingy, and then I just asked them, like, hey, how's classes? And they're like, it's pretty weird. Like,
Yeah.
the teachers will call on you if they see that if they don't see you on screen and stuff.
Yeah, that I'm not cool with that stuff. Like, it doesn't bother me if kids don't want to be on camera.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Number one, who looks good on Zoom? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I look fucking sexy as fuck.
dude, I can imagine.
No,
It's all in
Buttered
the
up some
webcam.
cocoa butter.
Oh my god.
No, but like that was my main concern when this all started because like my one of my coworkers, she has 2 kids, and they had to start doing the Zoom thing, and like the school LUSD gave them like Chromebooks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like that was the first concern of mine when like this all happened was like that really goes to show the difference in wealth
Yeah, dude.
throughout the students.
Yeah.
It's so apparent.
Because like they were demanding like a video feed, all that's like, well, they can't afford this. Like
yeah. No, I mean, it's a whole slew of things.
Yeah.
I personally am like, if you don't want your camera on, I'm okay with it. That doesn't bug me. Just as long as you're participating, we're
Yeah.
cool. We're cool. Like if you will answer questions or at least write in the chat the different stuff, I'm fine with that. Especially like it helps some of the kids that have a lot more social anxieties and issues with themselves.
Yeah.
I do have one student who has specifically Tourette's.
Oh,
And so very, very self-conscious of anything they say and how they act, and sent me a message, and it like broke my heart a little bit because I'm like, dude, which school failed you before this? But was like,
Oh man.
was like, I swear, anytime I shout something out that's inappropriate, I don't mean it. And I was like, holy crap, which teacher cracked down on you for that? Because that's
Aw.
messed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So, but since he doesn't have to have his camera on or his voice on all the time, none of those tics are showing.
Oh, that's
And
good.
so for him, like he's come out a lot more and he's more cool with it.
That's
Hell
good. Yeah.
But then on the flip side of it, it is like in-person teaching is a lot more effective.
Yeah.
Like I can only move so fast doing it online.
And
Yeah.
you're doing high school, right?
Yeah,
So you
Oh,
you
God.
still have 6 periods of Zoom.
a
no.
little bit different.
Yeah.
So I'm at the school I'm at, we work off of a quarter system. And
What's
then,
that?
so as opposed to it being just
It's kind of like track.
Semester.
It's like track almost, right?
yeah,
Oh, like
so,
in elementary school?
I didn't
so
do that.
to put it simply, like I have a period of students who are actually older than 9th grade, but they're here from different countries and things like that,
Yeah.
and just kind of starting out. And so that one I do have like somebody that can speak different languages for me, a couple people actually, because I have students from all over in that one.
Yeah.
But they're all anywhere from the age of like 14 to like 19, which is crazy. But they're there to kind of get through school quickly.
Yeah.
So they only do what they call 9th grade A and B. So those first 2 quarters, that's their 9th grade year. And then
So it's kind of like continuation, like just the 9th grade packed into like a certain amount of time.
yeah. And I mean, I still take it as slow as I'm taking my other classes, if not slower sometimes, just to make sure they get everything. But it is a completely different thing.
You know,
Really quick. Semesters, you know how it's split up into 2?
yeah.
So it's like 20 weeks.
Yeah.
Quarter systems, it's split up into 10.
Oh fuck.
Yes, but
Yeah.
you get 3 during like the normal school year,
Yeah.
and then 1 during the summer.
And is this
which
because
is
of
summer
COVID,
quarter.
or is this how just your school
This
works?
is just how the
Yeah.
school
Yeah,
works.
I think because I had friends that went to Poly and then they did all that. Yeah.
At Cal Poly
Yeah.
Pomona, it was quarter
Yeah.
system, and then just recently they switched to the semester system, and
Yeah.
it kind of like ruin like the track of like how other students like, oh, I had this shit lined up, like at this many classes and fall.
Oh
quarter,
yeah, that must have
summer.
been a bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's
it was
terrible.
pretty like challenging on them, and then
Yeah.
just changing from like a 10 week like I guess speed and dragging it and doubling it to 20 weeks, so you could kind of like focus a little bit more in the details, but like because quarter system you're like, oh fuck, I got a midterm. We would often have 2 midterms. I'm like, how
Yeah.
the fuck do you have 2 midterms?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like after the first 3 weeks you'd have like the test, the next 3 weeks
Yeah.
test, and then the finals like finals. So it's just the first 2 tests
Yeah.
and then whatever else.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm basically just doing it. This first quarter is going to be just purely on poetry, and so at the
Okay.
end of it, they're just putting together their own poetry stuff they've written over
Hell
the
yeah.
time. But yeah, I mean, the thing that's I think craziest, at least with all this, is just it has been seeing the difference in basically income inequality and things like that with all this.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily the school's been really cool. They're giving students hotspots and then also
Oh,
Chromebooks,
yeah.
so that way
Yeah.
they can access everything properly. But it's still one of those things. If you have a couple kids in one room with one hotspot,
It's gonna
like
be,
I can't make them have their cameras on, because
No.
if that's the case, dude,
they're using up so much
they're using
bandwidth.
so much bandwidth.
Yeah.
Especially if like I'm already streaming from my side
Yeah.
because I have to have my camera on.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be like a bigger point of discussion. Like in the future when we go back to school and we go back into
if
classrooms.
we go back, dude.
Yeah.
Like I think no one was prepared for it.
No, I mean, really, the one thing that COVID's done, at least to America, is it's essentially just gone, here are all your flaws in all of your systems that you didn't realize were there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least for people that are on top. Because I think everybody down below, like, anybody that's lower middle class or poor, we've seen them for years.
Yeah.
But the people up top are finally going, oh.
Uh-huh.
So this is what happens if we put corporate before life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like dude, when I was going to school, I went to Robert Fulton College Prep, LASD school,
Mm-hmm.
and that was during the time when all the teachers were getting like pink slipped, and that's when they first started going on strike.
I remember those.
Dude.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Man, like it was so fucking bad. Like there were like 30 kids to a room,
Yep.
and like they cut all electives, and all these teachers who were there who have tenure were being cut.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even because like they didn't cut the 1 year teachers. It's because they needed that money, and we took that money at Fulton. At least we took that money to build an 18-man football team.
God damn, dude.
Dude,
That's so
that
stupid.
happens all the time,
Yeah.
though. Because it's like, where do they get their money from?
Yeah,
and that's the thing, is they value the bottom dollar
The only-
over the kids, which is
Yeah.
horrible.
The only way that would make sense is if the football team would generate money or more money to fund the.
Well, the thing
rest.
is, Fulton was like the only school around here without like that football hooray.
Yeah.
Because like Panorama had it, Van Nuys had it, and that like the thing is, Panorama High School when we were growing up, it was built for the kids who had OT, opportunity transfers,
Yeah.
and that ended up becoming like they had a bigger graduation rate than fucking Fulton.
Yeah.
But you could tell the difference between school and school because I had friends that went to all three.
Mhm.
You could tell the difference between Van Nuys High compared to Fulton and Panorama compared to fucking Fulton.
Right.
We were like the bottom
Okay.
of the fucking chain.
Yeah.
and
Was
now-
it wasn't a charter school. Right?
It was a college prep.
Okay.
But now they were LASD let them go, and now they're a charter. They're
Yeah.
a Jewish
Oh,
charter
wow.
school.
Yeah. So
really?
A Jewish
A Jewish
A
charter.
Jewish charter
wow.
school.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
L'chaim.
Charter schools are a whole other bag, man.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Honestly.
but to be honest, the reason I chose Poly is because it's still technically part of LAUSD.
Yeah.
But teachers have so much more say on what happens at the school,
Okay.
and as a result, it's actually a lot better for everybody involved.
Wow.
Yeah, because in general, you get to different places and admin is making the decisions on a lot of different things. Like some of the curriculum, they have more say and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Whereas the teachers here are like, no, we're not doing that. It's going to be like this.
right.
So it benefits the students more because who knows more about what the students need than the teacher?
yeah.
once
like
again.
the person that knows them.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, it's just been crazy as far as like
Yeah.
a lot of issues.
Mhm.
Right.
But so okay. So at this point though, like do you get a lot of feedback from parents? Like do you get direct feedback from the parents now that there's kind of like there's no need for them to visit the school to talk to you? Like now that like they could now you could like they could talk to you a little more about like their kids' education, or is there like do they have to go through a filter, like go through a medium to talk about that now because you know, a lot of this is very sensitive. Like a lot of this situation is very sensitive about like how their kids are being taught or what questions can be answered in a certain way. Like, do you feel like there's a lot of, I guess not interference, but do you see like the district stepping in or the school stepping in to talk for you to the parents, or do you feel like you are open to speak with them about their kids and what's going on?
Oh, I mean, I made about like 25 phone calls last week.
Oh,
if that's
shit.
if that's any clue. I mean, I haven't had a parent directly contact me yet.
Okay.
I've been the only one that's done the contacting.
You
so
do
far.
the contacting.
And
okay.
the only people I contacted were students that just didn't have enough work in to pass.
Oh, wow.
So I basically had to turn in grades like last week for the midterm grades.
Oh, wow.
And you know, I'm pretty lenient when it comes to anything like that. Like, you know, you get the stuff into me, I'll give you a grade. If it's late, I still have to take some points off.
Yeah, of course.
You can still turn it into me. Like, I'm not going to be a jerk about that kind of stuff. You do the work, you get some points.
Yeah.
But you know, I had students where I reminded, you know, every class, like, get your late work into me, grades are due soon. And so, and they wouldn't respond back. So I was like, okay, well, I guess now I'm going to have to go in and call your parents. Then I had a bunch of students turn in work to me after that. But before that, it was like, okay, I kind of like that Kung Pao thing. It's like, okay, throw us off. Like,
dude, isn't it kind of weird? Like, do you get flashbacks?
Oh, all the time, man.
Dude, you get non-flashbacks about school and shit.
Specifically because I have some students that like are like either super into anime or music, and so they'll talk to me about stuff because
oh, you were telling me earlier about that.
Yeah, no, I have like a couple students that'll call me like Schultz Sensei or Schultz Dono, and I'm like, whatever, it still works for me. But
do they do that in like a group chat where the whole class sees it?
Yeah, they
do.
Dude.
And like they're openly weebs.
They're openly weebs, and I'm like, dude, good for you, because I used to get made fun of all the time for this. So
man.
Yeah, but and then I have other students that are really into music, and they'll ask me stuff.
Okay.
And so I mean, most people nowadays are really just mainly into hip hop, which I still love hip hop, but it's like
you got the mohawk in the Zoom meeting.
Actually, I can. I usually have it down when I'm doing Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just because once again, I
want that professional look.
Yeah, because it's a little bit different when you have students, because you're just like, I gotta make sure they have some kind of level of respect, and I'm like, as soon as I start putting up the mohawk, that whole dynamic.
Yeah.
So
that's why you kind of let the music trickle in, or like the anime trickle in.
Yeah.
Just to create that bond. Like, hey guys, like I can be level with you.
Yeah.
But also, like, I gotta keep the hawk down.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things.
Get
like,
your boy Hawk.
Yeah, Tony Hawk, guys.
Do they know that you can rock a mohawk?
Oh, I mean, they know that that's what this is. Like,
dude, hell yeah. Because if they see shaved sides that, but longer hair on the top,
it's kind of obvious.
They're not stupid.
Dude. Yeah. Oh my god.
I don't know what that looks like down, dude. Like,
I mean, it's basically just like comes down this way.
Yeah, I've never seen at your wedding.
Yeah,
that's the only time I've ever seen you just with a hair
down.
Hair down.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, for as long as I knew Nate in high school, he always had it down. Like, he always had like helmet down, just kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I'd spike it up occasionally, but like.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, I remember like spiked in like multi different colors.
Yeah, no, I did that
when
you
did the Liberty, dude. Remember when you did the Liberty spikes?
Oh yeah, I do. That was fun.
Those were badass.
Yeah, especially when my hair was long, so it was just like my hair was like out to here.
Yeah,
like,
dude, he had like 1.5 2 foot spikes coming out of his head.
Yeah, and not to mention, like, I was the only person in our school doing anything like that.
Yeah.
So it was like you could see me from across the hall. It was like, well, what the hell? It's a shiny Pokemon over that way.
It's a shiny Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know what though? It's actually kind of nice to hear that LAUSD is doing way better than they were when I was there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh man, dude. I remember seeing teachers crying.
I mean, I'm sure they're still doing that now, man.
No, but I think during that time it was such like a oh shit.
In elementary, I used to go to a LAUSD school, and like, I don't know, we must have been little shits, because the teacher's like, you could call me a bitch, you can call me a hoe, I don't give a what the fuck you say. And I'm like, this is 3rd grade? Like,
Jesus.
What?
God damn. Where'd you go to elementary school? Fucking
Vinedale.
Out
in like Sun
dude,
Valley. I was like,
A, dude.
What the fuck is going on?
Dude. No, I mean, like, for the most part, the students seem to actually really like me. I mean, I've had a message from a kid that he's pretty new to being in the U.S., and he's like, hey, I just want to say thank you for helping me learn English better. Or, I've had, which was nice. Or like one student randomly in the chat's like, this is like my favorite class of the day. And so things like that where you're like, okay, cool.
You're doing something right.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing the school is doing, they have what's known as advisory periods.
Okay.
So it's almost like a homeroom.
Oh.
And those are kind of the times when it's me and another teacher and we just kind of have fun with the students and kind of make sure they're okay. Especially right now.
Is your mental up there, bro?
Yeah. You're shooting the shit with them, basically.
Yeah, because I mean, especially during COVID, dude, a big thing of high school is being able to have social interactions.
Yeah.
And then also on top of that, being able to
go on that adventure journey of yourself.
But also teachers, one of the main things they're known as mandated reporters.
Okay.
So anything that's like really concerning,
we have to
report. Like with that kind of stuff, you can't really do that as well over,
like what would be a mandated report that you have to
notice like abuse,
abuse.
Okay.
Yeah. Abuse or neglect, that kind of stuff. So we have to report those things.
You have to look for like keywords in their speech or what they're saying, like the hot words.
Yeah. Or like, I noticed bruises. I'm like, hey,
yeah,
I'm just noticing bruises. Is everything okay? And I'm not allowed to like interrogate them.
Yeah.
Because that would be kind of messed up.
Yeah.
But it's just more just like, and if they tell me something, then I have to report it.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of what it is. And then SF gets involved and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Jesus.
That's
God
crazy,
damn, dude.
Yeah.
There's
nuts.
a Netflix documentary about a
Gabriel
Fernandez.
Gabriel Fernandez. I think that's his name. I don't want to misquote his name, but yeah, he was killed by his stepfather.
Yeah,
the teachers were reporting it, and DCFS did nothing about it.
God damn.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
I mean, that's essentially what teachers do, though. Is part of our thing is like making sure our students' well-being is there. So, yeah, I mean,
dude, my teachers used to just be like, "You're acting up because your dad didn't love you enough." That was the type of shit. Dude, it wasn't until like sophomore year. I had a teacher, Mr. Meza.
Oh God!
And sophomore year, you take the PSATs.
Yeah,
dude. So I didn't know that they get the results back. Like teachers get the results. It's in the fucking system.
Yeah.
Right.
I did so amazing on the PSAT, but I was failing every fucking class. I almost got a perfect score.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the fuck I did it.
He says.
I will fucking make a call right now, dude. He kept me back after class, and oh man. I am not paraphrasing. I was like, "You're just fucking stupid, huh?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Look at this." He's like, "You just don't give a fuck." He's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you just want to like live with your mom for the rest of your life, huh? You just want to do nothing." He's
Damn, son.
He's like, "You could fucking do it. You're just a lazy fuck."
Hell yeah, dude.
No,
did you do anything?
I mean, that
after
stuff's
that?
important. Like, yeah.
Did you change?
No, I fucking dropped out like the next semester.
Oh, man.
No, but the point was, instead of giving him the nurturing, guiding hand,
he was like, "Yo, bro."
He was trying to give
it sounds like you needed that talk.
No,
like to set you like, "Hey, dude, you're fucking up." Like,
didn't work, dude.
No, it worked in my personal life really because like I didn't give a fuck about anything. I didn't give a fuck about school. I didn't give a fuck about what I was doing in my life.
Yeah,
and it was like, all right, well, if I'm not going to go to school, I need to make sure that every job I get now, I have to work 10 times harder because I don't have a fucking diploma.
Yeah, because here's the thing, like, and I know that like schools really push for kids to go to college. For me, it's like college isn't for everybody.
Nope.
And that's the big thing is like some people should just go to a trade school or work towards something else. Like
I also think college isn't for everybody right away.
Yeah,
definitely.
Like, it's a good thing to wait for it because here's the thing. Like, even for myself, I went to college right away, but there was a big difference between once I knew what I wanted to do versus when I was just like, I think I want to be a nurse.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, wait, I really don't. And suddenly I got serious about it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude, you were going to do blood work and shit?
Yeah, so I actually got my certificate to do phlebotomy.
Phlebotomy,
so
there we go, yeah.
I actually was legitimately set for that. I did all my externships. I had my certificate from the state. I was licensed to do that.
Yeah.
But there were no jobs. And every job you were looking for was like, you have to have experience. But how can I get experience if I don't have a job? And so
I was a healthcare recruiter and we would hire phlebotomists, but like all of them were like, you need to have at least 1 year. It's like, well, how do I get that? I'm like, honestly, probably a small free clinic.
Yeah.
That's
it's
your
like,
best shot
you got to work for free.
Go to that black market clinic back there.
Or you got to have a off cuff joke, a king named Aiden that you got to take care of.
But it was basically just like, yeah, you got to work for free and for like a year. And I'm like, well, I just paid, a couple grand to take this course, and I can't work right after the gate. Like that was kind of like one of those things. I'm like, nah. So so it was just at that moment, and then not to mention working in hospitals, it was one of those things like, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
And then
imagine if you would have done that and during this.
Dude, I know. Like, no. I think like altogether it was for my benefit that I am not a nurse right now. Cause, man, I gotta tell you, because there was a time when I went to a clinic and we were taking blood at different places in the hospital, and they had a rape ward. And I remember I walked into that.
A what?
Yeah, so they kind of do the tests.
Okay, all right. I don't know why. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So you don't hear. I
you
never heard that term before. I was like, oh,
damn. They had a ward, basically, people that had been raped. They'd do the kits and everything like that.
Yeah.
And also just for mental health for them.
Yeah, of course.
In that area.
Yeah.
And I remember I walked in and I had to take blood from this 8-year-old kid that obviously had some mental issues.
Yeah.
And like I was like, separating yourself from your work, like I could easily do that from like customer service. I mean, screw that kind of stuff. But like things like this, it was one of those things where like that messed me up for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because not only that, but like he was definitely afraid of me for a little bit because I'm a man. So it's like he sees me there and I'm just like, and he was a little afraid, and like I had to like coax him to be like more calm when I took the blood. That kind of stuff, like there was a certain point where I'm like, yeah, I don't think I could do this day in and day out. So people that do it, props to you, seriously, but I can't do that.
Dude, that's crazy. Oh my god, dude, that gave me chills. That gave me serious chills, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, bro.
I think that's when because when you came back from the Philippines, me and you didn't meet right away.
No, we didn't.
I think we met when you were.
It was when Lockjaw came back together.
It was our first show back at Town's house.
Because when so here's a little another backstory. I always got the backstory. The backstory. So Nate and I started a band after high school, literally right after high school, because necrosodomization wasn't going anywhere. My other death metal band was definitely not going anywhere, and I was like, and then Nate was like, "Hey, it'd be pretty funny if we did like pop punk," and I was like, yeah, that would be funny. Let's just fuck around. And then like the week after school ended, he came over to my house. He's like, hey man, I actually like wrote some music. I think you'll like it. And I was like, dope, let's play it. And we wrote our first 3 songs. She's a Dude, Death to Hipsters, and I think
it was Just My Luck was the other
Just
one.
My Luck.
Yeah, which we never recorded.
We never recorded or played again after that first. And we were like, hey, maybe we could actually like do something with this, and it doesn't have to be like your generic pop punk.
Yeah.
And then we're like, all right, cool. And that's when we recruited Robin.
Oh no, yeah, Robin. But before him, it was just you, myself, and a dude named Sonic, dude.
Drums. Oh my! Yeah. I forgot about Sonic.
Who the fuck are these people?
Dude,
Robin,
Sonic. How did you know Sonic?
Dude, it was. I don't even remember how I met him. I just met him somehow.
Oh, dude, you think it was through fucking? Okay, Nate used to work at Hot Topic.
I did.
Nate used to work at Hot Topic in Burbank.
Times.
He used to work at Hot Topic in Burbank Mall, and then he worked when he came back from the Philippines, he worked at the Hot Topic at City Walk.
Yep.
Oh
but once again,
God,
it's because I would make more money when I got back working there.
Yeah.
But it was not worth my mental health.
Oh, dude, it was. Oh man, I knew Nate was like dying inside every time I walked in. He was like, hey, he would do the fake customer service. Hey guys, I was like, oh, it's Memo. Oh, dude.
Yeah, no.
He just instantly relaxed. And then someone came in, I'd see him pep up. Hey, welcome to the store. We got a 50% off deal. I was like, oh my fucking God, Nate is a retail zombie, dude.
Yeah, that's literally what it makes you. Anything like that.
And it's the worst place to do it for,
dude,
too.
It is.
It's supposed to be punk. It's supposed to be like alternative.
Once again, it's like that kind of stuff I crack up at.
It's commercial
like punk. Corporate America punk rock, which is basically not.
No, not at all.
It doesn't work. I mean, it was a paycheck for me.
Yeah. So Nate and I met. We tried starting this band. Sonic, he was a good drummer. He was I don't know. I wonder whatever happened to him,
dude.
But he was amazing. And then that's when we were getting Robin, who used to work at Hot Topic with me.
me.
And he was our bassist. And then we got our friend Aldo, who went to high school with us,
Yeah.
and he played in bands with Chris's brother Michael,
Yeah.
and
A couple different bands with him.
yeah,
Yeah.
a couple different bands, and then it's funny. The first time all four of us were together, didn't Robin say like, "Hey, I buy drugs from you" or something like that?
Dude, it was
Yeah.
it was totally like that.
Yeah,
which is
it was something
hilarious.
like they both knew each other from whatever they
From
did,
drugs.
it was so like, hey, oh, we're like it was meant to be, guys.
Here we are.
But then we had like maybe like 1-2 practices, and then Robin left.
Yeah.
He went to the army.
he went to the army.
Yeah, and then shout out Robin, dude. Oh man, I miss you.
Love that guy.
I miss
man.
you, guy.
Yeah.
And then we got Chris's brother Michael to play bass. I was like, hey Michael, like I know you play guitar. Are you down to like try playing bass? He was like, yeah, I'm down. We're like, okay.
Which I just thought was hilarious because he's definitely a better guguitarist than I am.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, dude. Yeah.
I was gonna say. I thought you were gonna say he's a better guitarist than bassist. I was like, yeah. And then you're like, then I am. I was like, oh, I don't.
no, he definitely is.
but true because he was born playing guitar. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, he's always been the guitarist.
Oh yeah.
And then we started the band, and we had Aldo, and we played. We recorded an album, the Rusty Nails EP.
Mhm.
We played our first show June 11th, 2011.
Fucking nerds.
Bro.
Yeah, that's right.
and we played at the Mint
That's
on,
right.
on Pico.
That's right.
Fucking
Dude.
nerds, bro.
And we played with this
Dude.
band. Like the band that played before us was they were like, oh my God.
I don't know. It was like white people trying to do hip hop with acoustic
reggae.
stuff.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
So fucking lame. And you know what's funny?
Yeah.
They played I think they played the battle of the bands that we played at
seriously?
not at the John Lovett's comedy
Yeah,
place.
the-
It was Howl at the Moon.
Yeah.
I think they played it. And we fucking beat them again.
Dude,
I
just-
remember you guys.
Dude. Well, yeah, we got to the finals of that. But yeah, so Nate and I went on this journey, and then Chris's brother Henry ended up replacing our drummer Aldo, and then we were Lockjaw was what, 8 years?
Something like that.
We played for 2011 to 2019, dude. 8 years.
Man, my brothers have been in bands together, and I've never been in any one of them or ever in a band.
Dude.
They were in.
It's because
they
you're
were
too
in a
good.
couple
You're
of
too
bands
good
together.
looking, Chris.
Damn,
I don't know if
dude.
that's true.
We got the pokey guy over here.
Yeah,
Something I did want to talk to you about
Yeah.
was
What's up?
your time in the Philippines.
Yes.
Because like
Oh,
there's a
dude.
story that still like to this day resonates with me when I think about you.
Yeah.
Was the dog?
Oh, dude. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell the story.
I was like, dude, okay.
So there's this dude we went to all the time, and
Well,
he had-
tell him like you went to the Philippines
yeah.
for what?
So basically, like, my family is Mormon, and so I went on a mission. You know,
to topple the Filipino government.
yeah, I don't know, man. Dude, Duterte is scary, man. Duterte is terrifying.
Yeah.
But
He's dropping people out of planes like Scarface. And
dude,
shit.
he's horrible. But anyways,
He went to save the bakla. Sorry, guys.
no, it's okay. But no. So when I was out there, we went to this guy's house pretty regularly, and he had this really annoying dog that was out front
Oh god.
all the time. And one day we get there and we don't see it. We're like, oh, sweet, okay, no more really loud annoying dogs. And we go
they
inside.
sold him.
Yeah,
they
no,
gave him
oh,
away to a relative,
dude,
dude.
I wish. So he's in there. He's making this giant thing of adobo. Which, if you don't know what adobo is, for anybody listening, it's this really good like Filipino stew. Essentially, they put over rice.
Isn't it basically like braised?
It's,
No, yeah,
it can
it's
be
beef.
pork.
Yeah, it's like stew. Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
it can
yeah.
be pork, it can be chicken, anything like that. But generally speaking, at least the one I make, it's like garlic, onions, ginger if you want it, meat, potatoes, pineapple, and then you kind of use that with soy sauce, vinegar, some sugar,
Yeah.
and bay leaves. It's really good.
Oh, but didn't you say you have to have a specific Filipino soy sauce?
Yeah, no. So if you're making adobo, you need to have either Silver Swan or Datu Puti is the name of them.
Mhm.
If you don't have those ones,
Anything else is just garbage.
Yeah, it doesn't work because soy sauce actually tastes different depending on where it's from.
Really?
Yeah. So like Kikuman's way different than like the Filipino soy sauces or even like Chinese soy sauce. Like
Yeah.
they're all different. But anyways, so he's making this giant thing of it, and we're like, "Whoa, dude, that's a big thing of adobo." And he's like, "Yeah, let's eat." And then we're like, "What kind of meat is it?" And he's like, "It's dog."
Oh,
And
God.
I'm just like, and then something just clicks, and we're like, where's the really loud, annoying dog outside? And he's like, that's it. Let's
That's
eat.
it.
And the thing is, like, I couldn't say no because this guy lived in this house that was like smaller than this kitchen.
Jesus.
And
now
like,
people know we record in a kitchen.
I think they've
No.
known based on the fucking stories we posted.
inside of this hangar.
Inside- we actually took over Joe Rogan's old studio, guys.
Yeah, but no, he lived in a
Sold.
really, really tiny place.
Yeah.
And so it was like, well, I gotta at least eat like one bowl of it because otherwise I'm gonna be a jerk, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
So,
disrespectful.
yeah, and I wasn't gonna eat all of it either because I'm like, I don't want to eat too. The other thing too is you go there, it's like you don't want to eat too much because you don't want to eat all their food, but and they would give it to you because they're really like about being kind to people.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't have much, but I'll give you everything.
yeah, it's kind of like that. And the thing
That
is, like,
hospitality.
and I was always like, no, like I'm gonna eat like a bowl and then I'm gonna go, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna take all their food. So, anyways, dog doesn't taste good, and that's kind of what I'm gonna leave it at. It's really chewy and very gamey. Not a meat I would recommend. And the way they usually make it is because they do this with goats too. They'll kind of hang them up and then use a blowtorch to blow off all the hair. And
Instead of just peeling it, like skinning it. Okay, all right.
Because one thing they really like is like chicharron type stuff.
Right.
So,
Dude, who does?
which, dude, it's so good. but basically, it's so they keep the skin, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's so, I mean, it was just one of those things where I'm like, I'm never gonna eat dog.
Yeah.
But it was like the one instance where I kind of was like, I don't have much of a choice.
Right.
And the reason
yeah.
that story still sticks with me, because I don't know if you remember, but when we first met, when we started talking, I already knew about you, and I already knew you were in the Philippines. And I remember I brought it up to you, and the first thing you fucking told me was like, "Yeah, bro, I had dog out there."
Yeah. Dude, I mean, that's like, once again, one of those things where it's like, it's so traumatizing. It's like one of the first things that comes up.
God damn.
But that wasn't the worst thing I ate.
Oh.
So
What?
Yeah,
shit.
so there's a lot of weird stuff I ate out there, but the worst was, okay, this isn't a Filipino dish, and I'm just gonna preface that first. But they didn't have a lot of food, and so they just were like, well, we can make this, and so they had cow skin,
Mm-hmm.
and they just gelatinized it,
Oh,
and
God.
we ate that, and that was like, there's very few things like I've thrown up after eating. That was one of them, and like it was like 10
Jell-O?
minutes. Gelatinized cow skin.
Gelatinized leather.
Yeah. And so, once again, one of those things, like, I have to eat a little bit, but man,
God.
like, I had that, and 10 minutes later, like, after we left, like, everything was out.
So I'm
And I felt
stupid.
so
and
much
when you
better.
say gelatinized, I'm thinking Jello.
Well,
like
that's
gelatin.
Well, I mean, think of it this way. Like,
What is it like?
Like a porridge?
No.
okay, have you ever, like, had a piece of meat, and, like, you notice, like, the blood stuff is, like, kind of, like, not fully...
Thinking of my dick right now.
No, like have you ever had a ground beef and left it in the fridge for too long, and the fat kind of turns into that like see-through, like transparent, solid, like jelly. Literally, you're right. It's jelly. It looks like jelly.
Bro, that sounds so disgusting.
It's
Dude,
like
it was so bad.
Head cheese, like head cheese.
Yeah, it's
basically
essentially like head cheese.
Well, let me ask you, why were you at these people's houses? Like, were you staying with them?
No,
he
no.
was trying to save them for the Lord.
No, actually, when we were out there, a lot of it wasn't even us going to people that weren't members. There's just like a lot of people that aren't active, and so we'd go to their houses to try to get them to come to church, essentially. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what? Most of the time, is it just like, yeah, dude, I've just been busy? Or
Someone was like, yeah, I'm busy, or like, hey, somebody just really offended me when I was over there, and things like that. And so, like, it was things like that. But I did a lot of stuff out there besides that. Like, we've built people's houses in the past.
Yeah, there's a lot of
stuff.
philanthropy.
Yeah, and
more of a philanthropy thing.
Yeah, which was kind of cool because, I mean...
So you came back with like a sense of accomplishment, not with the religion part, but like I actually went out there and helped some people in a certain sense without the basis of religion.
Yeah, like we even did things like teaching English and stuff like that. Which,
sure.
yeah.
Oh, so you were just meant to be a fucking teacher, like from like
That's essentially it. Yeah, I mean, not so much my mom. Well, she was a music teacher. She got let go because of COVID, actually.
Dude,
but
fuck that.
it's and she was at an elementary school, man. Like, it was there for like so long. It's sad, but
that was one thing I want to ask you, because I've known Nate for a long fucking time, and I never would have pictured Nate becoming a punk rock teacher. I was like, I didn't know what Nate really was gonna be. He and I had dreams of being rocker foos, just doing something in a scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we just loved playing and we loved performing. And
he
I knew
was a
Nate,
skater fool.
Nate. Weren't you a skater foo?
I was.
One point, yeah. He said, "See you later, foo," because he just went to the music for the skater foos. But yeah. So when did you kind of like? Do you kind of have a recollection of the first time you actually like showed someone something? And you're like, oh, I do kind of have a knack for teaching.
I mean, I taught guitar when I was younger.
Oh, that's right, you did.
And I did have some fun with that, but I think the main thing was like in classes, there are times when you have to like present stuff, and like I always like had fun doing it.
Yeah.
And I'd always bring up topics that were just weird and out there. But
But
it'd always be fun and make it more me. And I'm like, okay, I actually kind of like doing that. And I also, the other thing too is I genuinely think like I'm happiest when I'm helping other people. Yeah. And so it's one of those things where I knew career-wise I had to be doing something where I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Right.
So when it came down to it, it was like, okay, what can I do and what do I enjoy? I really love reading. I love writing in general. And so it was one of those things like, okay, so obviously I have an affinity for like English and literature. And across the board, that's like all types of it. Because a lot of people only think in terms of literature, like, oh, books. It's like, no, I mean poetry, song lyrics, even film is like a whole different language.
It's not just so black and white.
Yeah, it's a lot, and I think now, like at least the schools are accepting a lot more of that broad sense of it, as opposed to no, we're only going to be reading this old white guy's book.
Right. I think that would do that would have changed so many people's lives if that's the way it was when we were in high school.
Yeah.
Well, I think we had a couple of teachers that were kind of like, no, we didn't really have a couple of teachers that were kind of like that, like that guided you to do what you wanted.
Yeah.
In a sense, you could say even Bentley was close to that, just because he was more of an arts teacher.
Yeah.
But
you ever have Collasos or Franco?
No, I never had Collasos or Franco, but I knew Collasos was he was very prominent, like helping people kind of figure out what they wanted to do.
Well, the thing
Franco
is,
was the same way.
I go back to like what Nate was saying about like the curriculum.
Yeah.
Like the freedom of curriculum. Like at Fulton, dude, like no, there was all the teachers at the beginning of the year got that folder with the curriculum, and they like, and it's so fucking stupid too, man. I don't know if you'll agree with me on this one, Nate, but I don't feel like that whole, because it's a big fucking folder. How are you supposed to fit that in 1 year? Like I feel like I only read half of my history book.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think that a lot of times teachers have to kind of go, okay, what do I really need to hit?
Right.
And that's the main thing, is there's like standards that, they want you to hit. And I'm like, there are certain things that I find more important than others.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for example, we're planning out this next curriculum, and we're like, okay, the last thing we need them to do is write something argumentative just at the end of it. And so we're like, okay, what can we take out of this that's not as important kind of a thing? Or what can I fit into a mini lesson as opposed to doing a whole day on this?
A whole lecture,
I know that was like a big argument when I was in high school, because my school really depended on the standardized testing.
Yeah.
That was a really huge argument.
Yeah.
Like people were just like, a lot of the teachers.
Standardized tests are fucking bullshit.
It brings
dude.
in the money.
They don't help.
It brings in the money for a lot of schools.
That's all it is. Yeah.
But a lot of the teachers just like, it makes no sense. Like a lot of the stuff on the test, I haven't even been able to teach my kids yet because we're still on this part of the fucking curriculum.
Yeah.
So there were things in the standardized test when a lot of us would see it, we would have no idea.
No, and the other thing with it too is like, I mean, I've read a lot of books just about these kind of topics in general. The thing with standardized testing is all science, all learning-based things that they've kind of done about it. Standardized testing helps none of it. Like, it doesn't help kids learn better. It doesn't help any of it. If anything, it perpetuates a lot of the inequality we were talking about earlier. Because a lot of even just what the testing's asking you are questions that if you haven't grown up, I guess, in a white American household, you wouldn't know all of it.
Right.
It's really unfortunate because you get then these questions of like these nursery rhymes maybe thrown in there. And like, you're not going to get those same things if you haven't read those before. Like, so that's kind of like a really basic thing that you read up on this. And it's like, yeah. And then of course the communities that get hurt the most are poorer neighborhoods and poor neighborhoods that have a lot of minorities.
Yeah.
So those two get hit the hardest, and then those schools get less funding because they're not doing well on the test, and it perpetuates, those communities they just need to pull themselves up. No, this just is built for one type of group, and it's not helping. It's
Like
Yeah.
so
That's the theme, like of like recently.
Well, no,
you know?
I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what it comes down to, dude. Like, and it sucks because, they say like everyone is guaranteed the same opportunity as everyone else.
Nah, dude.
That's
It's
not
not
the
the
case.
fucking case at all. Like, yeah, we're all given the same
Fuck you, George
tools.
W.
Like, we're all given the same tools in a sense, but we're not taught how to fucking use them.
I mean,
Yeah.
a great example is like, if you're gonna be given a swimming lesson to a fish, that's great. But if you're giving a swimming lesson to a caterpillar, like
Yeah.
what are you doing? Like, that's not how this works. And it's one thing that, like, luckily with this, we have like our textbook and things like that. But I kind of take it and I go, okay, cool, I have this. Let me see how I can make it more fit for my students and switch it up a little bit so
Yeah.
it works. And then I do that, as opposed to going, we're going to read this really boring essay right now written by somebody. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, what's the main points they're trying to get across? Okay, let me try to do this differently.
Like, probably like at my school at least, because I know Burbank worked very differently because it wasn't LASD. Before the standardized testing, because it was a big fucking deal. Like, they did auditorium and fucking all have to sit.
No, we still had that.
And
We
that's
did too.
Yeah, they still gave
Yeah, we
us-
still had that.
we still had that
like
completely.
beforehand. But like, this is when I found out that the whole thing was a lie. Because like each standardized test was like number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1. All me and my friends sat next to each other, and we all had different number tests. It was the same fucking test.
I heard that.
It was the
I heard
same,
that.
the
Yeah.
same fucking test.
It costs too much money to switch those up.
Yeah, dude.
So-
What the fuck?
A week before at Fulton, dude, they would. I think the teachers would like kind of guess what would be on the standardized test or whatever, and they would have us do an open book test in class, and it was things that we weren't even in that chapter yet.
God
in class.
damn.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, at least with it, teachers know essentially what is going to be on it because those tests are, once again, standardized.
Yeah.
So they know
Yeah.
what's going to be
They
asked
see
on
it every year.
Yeah. and,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where luckily not every grade has to take that test.
Yeah.
But in my head, it's once again, it's taken away from the actual curriculum. It's going to help the students.
I feel like it makes your
It's-
mind like an etch and sketch.
It does. It's like, no, you got to put in everything right here. So it's just, but yeah,
And it's fucked up because I feel like that does not prepare anyone for one, the real world, or college, dude.
Nope.
College is a free thinking. Like, you really have to think outside of the box to get the most out of your college experience.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Like, my freshman college years, like, I was expecting it to be like high school, and that's when I realized I was in the wrong fucking career path.
Yeah. No.
And I was, dude, what the fuck is all of this?
Yeah, it's exactly that. Because I mean, even for myself getting into college, like I was like, okay, I think I want to do this, and so then you're kind of on this path to do what you want to do, but you're like, but is this really what I want? And
Remind me, did you go straight after high school or?
I did.
Yeah, you went to Glendale or Valley?
Cal State LA.
Cal State. That's right. You went
Yeah.
to Cal. Oh, because you were doing the phlebotomy.
Yeah, I was going for nursing.
Nursing,
there,
yeah, yeah,
And they
that's
were
right.
they're like in the top 3 in the nation for it.
Yeah, yeah, they
it was
are.
Like
They
one of
really
those
are.
things I was like, well, yeah, I should go here.
Mm-hmm.
But it was one of those things where I'm taking my classes and I'm just like, I'm not really feeling fulfilled in any
No, not
any
at all.
sense of the word.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, then I basically left for the Philippines, which I think was good for me in that it took me away from that for a bit.
It gave you like a reset.
Yeah, it was like a reset, and I got back, and I was going to Valley for a little bit just to get gen eds out of the way.
Yeah, my reset was a depression.
I think I had multiples of those.
Dude, yeah.
And sometimes we were like, what am I doing with my life? And then
Oh yeah, dude.
and then I was at Valley for a little bit, and then I kind of was taking my courses, and I remember I was just about to start the nursing program, and I was taking classes,
Yeah.
and at the end of the semester you're always getting to the point where like, oh, I hate school.
Yeah, dude.
But that's like normal for every semester, but this was a different kind of hate.
Right.
It was
This is a different kind of hate.
yeah, it's the hate where you're like, I can't do this. Like physically, I cannot bring myself to continue this.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had that even like in my senior year of high school.
Oh, dude.
So, random story. I didn't do my Hamlet essay and I got an A on it.
Oh, dude.
Dude.
this
Wait,
is
what?
Oh,
So-
I love. We had
Hamlet?
We had the worst. Not the worst. Okay, yeah, we had one of the worst teachers because the worst teacher was over there already. Fucking Miss Atherton.
Oh, she was
Yeah,
horrible.
she's gone already. So
Yeah.
both of these teachers are gone, so we can talk about them.
Yes.
But Atherton's gone. She was the worst teacher. She failed a lot of people. And okay, remember that one dude that their dad would drive around
with the
Batmobile and Simone or Melissa, her name was Melissa, whatever, dude, I forgot.
I saw him, he got pulled over once.
He got pulled over,
dude, that's hilarious.
How do
you pulled over Batman?
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we pulled over Batman. No, but we had Miss Schneider, dude.
Yeah,
Mrs. Schneider, dude. She was on her second to last year because the next year was the year she retired. She was going to retire. She was out the door, dude.
Yeah.
My God.
And so basically she was super disorganized.
Uh-huh.
And I was doing my stuff, and here's the best way for me to put it at that point. Like, I was 18. I had a job.
18.
Yeah, I mean, I was 18. I had a job, and I'd been accepted to like 3 or 4 universities, and so I'm just like,
I don't.
The amount
need
of like
you.
caring that I had for school at that point was minimal, and so I was like, okay,
because by that point we had 5 weeks.
Yeah.
We had like 5 weeks left, right?
Yeah, and this was like the last big essay.
Yeah.
Let me just coast through.
No,
And
but here's where it gets fucking hilarious.
It was what I was saying. I was trying to take care of the essay, and I'm writing things down, and I'm like, I cannot physically bring myself to do this. Like, I just couldn't. I tried. I was sitting in my room, and I'm just like, no, I'm done. And so then, like, everybody turned theirs in. I pretended like I turned mine in, and and then she's grading them, and then she calls me up. She's like, hey, I like have your stuff, but I didn't put a grade down. I'm like. She's like, oh, and in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm just not gonna do any pre-work. I'll just write a BS essay kind of thing. Like, it's like, oh, I turned it in. I can print you another copy. She's like, no, it's fine. I remember reading it. I remember being good. Just
she didn't remember shit.
No, exactly. It's because she was super disorganized. Because she was so close to the end, she just didn't care really anymore.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I go back to go check to see what she gave me. She gave me 96 on it.
Hell yeah.
God,
96 based off of what?
Based off his merit. She literally based
on
it
your
off
behavior
his
for the.
Well, yeah, because you were never a problem.
No, I would just like sit in the back and like, I don't know.
Dude, that class was a joke because no one gave a shit in those classes except maybe us. Like we were the only ones that kind of like knew. Dude, people were taking my notes from fucking Wuthering Heights.
Dude, I hated that book.
Wuthering Heights.
It's such a bad book.
God fucking damn it, dude. Wuthering Heights was the worst book I have ever read, dude.
Why did we read that? Like,
I don't even know,
once again,
dude.
that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about that I'm like, I'm never teaching that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have other books that I wanted to do this year, but once again, just funding and what we can give students, I wasn't able to.
Dude, Wuthering Heights was what? Like a 700, 800 page book about a love affair that went on to a next generation, but still those people that were part of that love affair existed.
Yeah, and everyone was horrible to each other.
Oh, dude, it was the worst example of humanity.
Yeah,
when it came to like lust and love. Yeah,
there are good ways of doing that. There are good ways of presenting that.
Yeah,
that book just isn't it.
No, dude, it was boring as shit. Oh my god! And then like the mystery behind it all, like, oh, how did Heathcliff get his wealth and blah blah blah, like, and they never explain it, and you're just like, okay, what the fuck?
That was the only interesting part of this.
It was.
What are we talking, Hamlet?
No, this is Wuthering Heights.
The fuck is Wuthering Heights?
Exactly.
You don't need to care.
You really don't need to care.
This is so crazy. I never thought anything for the podcast would be talking about the education system and like literature. What the fuck?
Yo,
income inequality.
We usually talk about dick jokes and drunk stories.
Yo, people are gonna be listening to this podcast. We're gonna get messages like, "God damn, you guys."
You guys are getting woke.
Literally, we go because Hillary's episode was pretty woke, and then ours, and then Victor's went like kind of down, and then hour 3, episode 10 was just ignorant, and then like John's was okay. They're coming up, and look at Nate. Like,
you set the bar. You set the bar.
You set the bar for like our decency. I don't even know how much more decent we can get after this one.
I don't know, man. I mean.
Well, okay, before we dive back into depravity like we always do,
we will.
Just one thing like I always wanted to like talk about, like when isn't it weird how we grew up and the kind of like not lifestyle but like that culture we were a part of, like the punk rock metal culture, like people link a lot of it to being uneducated or just being full of that anxiety and just just teenage angst and all that. But then look at us now, And we have these opinions, like these real adult opinions and real educated opinions. Like people, like if a lot of people assume that a punk rocker is uneducated, they're just fucking assholes. They just want to fucking beat her up, blah, blah, blah. But unless you're actually part of a scene and understand people and stop and get to know people, like get to know a person, you'll never understand their views on things. And Bad Religion, dude. Bad Religion, I think, is Bad Religion and Descendants are like my favorite examples of bands that have the most educated people running. And like, aside from their work on the band, they're promoting education, being political, being active. And a lot of people just don't understand what that is. They just say, "Oh, these rockers just don't give a shit." And it's funny because when I started going to college, and then we started doing the shows at like Tone's house, and we started interacting with people,
You know, and
all that.
I get what you're saying about it.
No, because I haven't even gotten to what I was saying. I'm sorry.
I thought the point was pretty clear.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
whatever. Just continue.
No. I was just saying, like, well, yeah, maybe. Like, I was just saying, like, it's so fucking weird how you realize the importance of education.
Yeah.
The real importance of education and how much we've been failed.
Dude,
how much we've been fucking failed.
It
Our role
is.
models have not shown us. Well, I can't say for everyone, but a good portion of our role models have not shown us like what real education is about.
Dude, this is the best way for me to put it. I learned more from punk and hardcore records than I ever did from school.
Yeah.
And that's the best way for me to
Yeah.
put it. It's
Yeah.
and that's kind of partially, why I wanted to get an education, because I'm like, I want to help the shortcomings I had.
Exactly.
And, dude, so much of history is just not taught properly, and I'm still able to teach that in English. Like, dude, I
Yeah.
only found out about the Tulsa Massacre after like high school and things like that, or finding out about things that are actually part of history that, like, dude, I remember back in high school in American history class being told that, the Civil War was all about states' rights. Slavery was just a byproduct there. It's like,
There's so much more to it.
There's so much more.
Oh,
It's
there's
like,
way
like
more.
which I think does so much more. Like, what was that state's right though? Like, once again, it's one of those things where I look at it and like, there's such a strong implicit bias in a lot of what we're taught, and it does so much damage. And especially with even literature, dude, the English canon was written by like Southern white people wanting to. No, man, I am not even kidding you.
No,
Like,
he's right.
It's legitimately that, and that they basically also were forcing these what's the word I'm looking for?
Wait, the what was written? The Southern canon?
The canon. So canon is basically like a set of like movies, literature that are like, oh, these are like must reads or must watches kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Which has controlled a lot of what you've read in school.
Yeah, the standard,
Okay.
basically,
Yeah.
the standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so like it will be like a set of like 100 books that's like, oh, you should go over some of these in your classes. And a lot of that, unfortunately, like has caused false narratives and things to continue forward
dude.
for the longest time. Like when we learn about things like World War II, we're not often told about the things that happen afterwards. So things like, okay, yeah, it's great. We, Nazis stopped, yay. But we don't talk about things that happen after that, things with neo-Nazis, things that happened on top of that.
The byproduct of these big events.
Or bringing those Nazi generals into our space programs or into medical fields. Like things that are like, that's actually really horrible.
They'll only glorify a victory
Yeah.
rather than the muddy background.
That actually is there.
Yeah.
Well, World War One, like
Dude,
after
if people
fucked
actually
over
looked,
Germany.
if people actually looked into World War One, holy shit, it is a big conflict of interest.
well,
the whole everything's a big
the
conflict of interest.
byproduct of World War One was World War Two. We fucked over
Yeah.
Germany. Like, all right, now you pay for everything. We'll bankrupt your entire fucking country.
Yeah,
Which
dude.
made it weak enough for somebody like Hitler to come into power.
Yeah, and just
Yeah.
like, hey guys, you know who we should blame for these?
Yeah.
The people that aren't like us, which
Like,
once again, we're kind of starting to have that same problem.
It's the
now.
same. Dude,
With
the last show you
China.
guys had, like me and one of my other friends who was there, we almost fucked up this dude at the end of your show.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
dude.
dude.
I had to give you a look.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
That-
bro,
Okay,
that-
so
we-
I'm
we
at the
see
other
it.
end, and then you're standing next to our friend, and so this kid does like a signal, and like
Yeah.
says some like white supremacist shit.
Yeah, he
and then,
mentions
like,
a band. He mentions a
Yeah.
group.
Everyone looks at me, and then like I look at them, but then like our friend gave us that look like don't because
Yeah.
he's here with like 4 other people, and it's gonna become a big fucking thing. But
It's
it's
bad.
shit like that.
Yeah,
It's like
it's not okay.
It's not okay to be that type of person. Like, and I was just talking to a couple people about it a couple days ago. You know, we just like, because my family is a military family.
Yeah.
My great grandfather, when he got here into America, he went to World War II. My great grandfather was one of the was in the platoon that took over Paris back from Hitler in the tanks.
So yeah,
so it's like, yeah, you know,
He was in Saving Private Ryan.
like, it's just like, dude, like, no, like, there's no excuse for it.
there is none. And the thing that's crazy about that is, once again, even those people at those shows, the education system failed them, and that's
it
what we
definitely
get.
did.
That's seriously
Wasn't
what we
American History X all about how, like,
get. Yeah,
like-
and guess what? Things still haven't changed enough for that.
No.
Nope.
And that's more my point, is like, we get to this point and it's like, education is important, but it's proper education. That's really what we
That's-
need.
well, no,
That's
like,
the
it wasn't
scariest
until I
thing,
became an
yeah.
adult, dude. Our history teacher in the 9th grade
Yeah.
had us watch The Birth of a Nation.
Oh,
Jeez.
fuck, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude, they gave us no context. Like,
God
no context.
damn.
Like, they were just saying, like, this is why, like, and it wasn't until I got older that I realized that movie was propaganda of slavery
Yeah.
and, like, the birth of, like, of the KKK. I was just
Yeah.
like, why the fuck did we watch something like that?
Without the context of it.
and
yeah.
it's considered one of one of the biggest pieces of movie, like it's an important part of movie history.
Which is
the reason that
crazy,
is because one of our
because-
presidents
Mhm.
played it at the White House and said it was like lightning on the screen.
Yeah.
which is insane, because once again, it's like, I understand people that are just, they have some conservative viewpoints or whatever,
Yeah.
but it's a different thing when those start becoming racial, when those start becoming about basic human rights and things
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
because that's not a question of, you know, your beliefs in whether you're conservative or you know, liberal. It starts becoming a question of, where are your morals at?
Exactly.
And you know
That's
that's a
it.
conversation I have with a lot of people because they're like, "Oh, well, Trump is the reason." I'm like, "No, Trump's not the reason. Trump is one of the scapegoats.
He's a catalyst.
He's an outcome.
Yeah.
He's the reason why these people feel comfortable. But this has always been here.
It's always been here, and he's basically just brought these people out of
Yeah,
the
like
woodwork
there are
again.
still little towns in the South that practice Jim Crow law.
Oh yeah,
Jesus Christ, dude.
there are still people that have sharecropping going on.
Yeah, like one of our friends, they
yeah.
live in Florida, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just take a road trip down here." And when me and my other friends saw the route, we're like, "Dude, there's no way we're gonna drive our asses through the South
During these times, at least, dude. During
Like,
these times,
No,
yeah.
like
Just
that
a
ain't
hard
happening.
nope. Yeah,
Ain't fucking happening.
Nah, dude. Post-election, maybe, but fuck, dude.
dude, it's I mean, I just, in general, like, part of the reason I got into education is because I wanted to make sure that at least I have some people out
Yeah.
there that know more. Because, like, even recently I was teaching a lesson just about, because we were talking about 9/11, because that happened recently, and I'm like,
Oh, that's something I want to talk to you about too.
so
Oh, shit.
like, I kind of was like, so as opposed to just going, hey, you know, it was horrible, like, all that stuff, I also was like, just everything that happened after that, like the perpetual war we've been in, and I'm like,
well, we're still in.
yeah, that we're still in it. And
Fuck.
I'm like, dude, I've lost friends to that. I've lost people's,
Mhm.
I know people that have lost their sanity to that. Beyond that, then we had a lot of people having racial issues right after that with people that were Muslim.
Well,
or
mosque got
Middle
burned
East.
down in New York.
Yeah, and so I was kind of just going down the list of like, look, it's not just about that. It's also what it did to us. We've become more paranoid.
So
as a
you're
country.
going in deep with these kids.
I am.
Like,
yeah.
you're not sugarcoating it. You're just
No,
like,
I'm laying it just how it is, and that's basically it.
Damn, dude. That's
Yeah.
what's up. That's what we need. That's what we dude, the realest teachers that I ever had are the ones that I respected the most. The ones that just laid it out for you. Like, this is what it is, dude. This is what life is. Like, my examples are, Mr. Shaw was one of them. We mentioned him earlier in the podcast. It was, I forgot what happened, but he's like, guys, there's two reasons that you need to buy a suit for high school and after high school. One is for your prom and for any celebrations you have after. The other, not all of you are going to make it. Not all of you are going to make it past 4 years out of high school.
And we lost two people.
And we
literally
did.
Right after
We
graduation.
lost two people right after graduation. It was the saddest thing. And he was right. And I realized, fuck, dude, like, that's one of the things I've held on to since I was in high school. And then the other one was dude, I love this man. Mr. Sal, our anatomy teacher.
Yep.
Nate and I love this guy. He was one of my favorite teachers ever. A lot of people didn't like him. Not gonna lie, a lot of people didn't like him because he was one of the realest fucking people that we ever met. He didn't take your shit at all. He even got on Nate and our case before because he thought we were like talking or we were blah blah blah. We're like, oh dude, no. He's like, yeah, guys, stop. Like he treated us like he would have treated everyone else. He was one of the realest people. But because Nate and I did all our work properly, and then we actually showed an interest in the class. He taught anatomy, and this is one of the reasons why I thought I was going to be in biology, but it was a completely different thing. And we talked punk with him, and Nate has a really good story about he didn't even have his class yet.
Yeah, so this was like 1 year back when, okay, so just because I listened to John Ross one, so I actually had that older teacher before Mr. Bentley, and was using those Casablanca editors and everything like that.
Mr. Hill, dude.
Yeah, and so what we do is he'd give you a pass to go film around the campus.
You know, he was the golf coach too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was the
weird.
golf coach. I forgot about that. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, but basically, like, you'd get a pass and you'd be able to film around campus, like, during the class period. And so we'd take that pass and, like, would just screw around mainly. And there was one time we were, like, walking by, we had the video camera, and he kind of was like, hey, are you guys supposed to be walking around? And we're like, oh, yeah, we got a pass. He's like, and he noticed I was wearing a Misfits shirt. And he's like, hey, you like Misfits? I'm like, yeah. He's like, dude, come into my room. And so I looked around. And he had like a bunch of like Misfits stuff on the walls and like other bands. And I'm like, oh, dude, this is awesome. And then one time he just gave me a random like Misfits figure he had, and it was on my birthday. Like, so he totally didn't know, but it was like, sweet.
Yeah.
And then I ended up in his class. The thing that's really weird though, he came from the same place that like I was born at, man.
Oh, that's right.
He was like in the Chicago area, and so he was part of that scene. And my dad kind of came into the scene right after that because my dad's a little younger, but by literally missed by like maybe a couple of years. And so it's crazy, like those little like things that work like that. And
it's a small world.
It is. And like we talk about certain bands, and he'd just be like, "Oh, you actually know these guys?" Because he's like, "I saw them all the time back in the day." And
dude,
yeah.
Shout out,
cool.
Mr. Sal, Mark Sal, dude. We went. The last show I went to before the world went to shit was the Decibel. No,
Decibel.
Metal
and Beer Fest.
Metal and Beer Fest with him. He took us. He paid. Yeah, he paid for our tickets, and he did not have to do though. He's like, you guys are us and our friend Stuart. He was like, you guys are the only students that I really kept in touch with and kept in touch with me. And you guys made me feel a lot better about what I was doing, and that, I felt like I made a difference being a teacher. So I wanted to take you guys because you guys are my friends. And he took us to this this beer and metal festival, and it was the coolest show ever, dude. It was. We saw Possessed. We saw Carcass. We saw Nails, Shibalba, Violence.
Yep.
Dude, it was the sickest show ever. I fucked my knees up so bad falling in that pit, but it was one of the best shows I've ever been to. And I'm so grateful. And but I never expected that from being cool with a teacher. I just thought he was the coolest guy ever.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is when you get older is, especially like being in college, is just realizing that literally like all your teachers are people. Like I think there's such
straight up, you realize that hey, they're just like, they have feelings and they think just like you do.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm 28. I'm a teacher. I'm still that same jackass from my bands. Like dude, I still play music, and that's never gonna stop.
You just put on that front in front of the.
I just got to put on the professional front.
Well, no, you don't put on a perfect. It's more like, I also like to do this, so this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What I wanted to ask you though was, because me and Mel were joking about it like a while ago, how meme culture is going to become a part of learning curriculum.
Oh, dude, I put memes in my.
Okay, so you do that. So beautiful. How do you incorporate?
Excellent.
Dude, it just works sometimes when I'm putting together like a lesson and I have a PowerPoint and we're talking about a certain topic, and it's like, so for example, I have a whole PowerPoint just on literary devices, and so I'll use a meme to help explain a literary device.
Yeah.
So for example, I had one where it was I'm talking about irony. And basically there's this sign that just says thank you for driving carefully, and there's a car that's flipped over on its side. And so I use that as a meme to help explain irony.
Yeah.
So like things like perfect. That, they're totally applicable. It's easy to use. So
yeah. No, I think where memes are gonna fall in more as far as like teaching is going to go for government classes. And
government and history.
Definitely. Oh, dude, memes are going to be part of textbooks.
Oh, they have to be.
That's at this
point. You guys really think so? Like
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
When people start teaching about this time period.
But
oh, yeah.
Can I Has Cheeseburger Now is not going to make it, even though it's
That one is
on the forefront.
That is ancient.
But we might get, dude. I can see Rage Face.
Oh yeah.
Bad Luck Brian.
Bad Luck
Bad Luck
Brian,
Brian,
or
yeah.
Magusta.
Yep.
Yeah, I can see
Dude.
Magusta, or but like the really weird, like
Dat
obscure
Boy. Like that's
Dat
not
Boy.
gonna
Oh yeah,
be.
Dat Boy's not gonna make
No.
it. Pepe might.
Pepe might because
No, Pepe can't because now he's a neo-Nazi face.
That's
what- no,
why
but that's
he might be
why-
part of it. Yeah.
Oh.
And because so, and that'll come into like adopting parts of culture and changing it to something else, because Pepe wasn't originally.
Well, no,
part
there's
of
a whole
that.
documentary out about it now.
Oh,
Like,
really?
The creator of Pepe did everything
Oh,
he
yeah.
could to make Pepe not
A neo-Nazi
not
symbol.
appeasable.
Oh, okay.
Like because Pepe was a cartoon,
yeah.
and I guess like I haven't watched the documentary, but from the gist of the trailer, the episodes after the neo Nazis picked him up were the nastiest, grimiest shit.
Oh yeah. It's interesting because that's the thing is anybody can adopt an image,
Yeah.
but it's just one of those things where I think that really like those things are what we're using as avenues for some communication in
Yeah.
some way, and they are going to be there basically to help kind of explain this time era.
Fuck. Yeah.
So
definitely, dude.
yeah, I mean, how many times do you see a meme and you're like, "Huh, dude, that kind of burns because it's true." Like,
Yeah.
like that's kind of what it
dude.
happens. I mean, you just are like, okay, yeah,
Literally the one with the dog wearing the tie, and
It's like,
he's
this is
on
fine.
fire. This is fine. Like,
Yeah.
that applies to everyone everywhere. That is a universal meme.
2020 especially
Especially 2020, especially 2020 California,
with
dude.
it being on fire.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, dude. It was
Dude.
bad. I was worried to cancel. Okay, we had a barbecue yesterday. I
Yeah.
thought we were going to have to cancel that bitch because it was just
No.
smoky.
Early, it was bad,
It
and
was
it
really
kind of cleared
bad.
up at night a bit more.
It did. It
Yeah.
cleared up more towards maybe around 5 o'clock. 4
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Still
wasn't as
smells
bad.
like smoke.
It
in my
Still
does.
does. Oh, well,
in my house.
we're
well,
he-
you're
yeah,
right next to it.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah. Chris lives closer
Oh, yeah,
to a fire
dude,
than
out
we
in-
do.
in the middle of the day.
You're in Duarte, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just foggy, like all throughout the day. I'm
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Jesus.
Yeah.
we could
it's
see the
pretty
fire from our
bad.
parking lot.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, dude.
That's exactly it. Like, yeah, Ixzine's dad's over in Monrovia.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Oh yeah, dude. It's right there.
You
just
got the
looks
text
over.
like you may need to evacuate, and I was like, okay.
All right.
I mean,
then.
I guess.
Yeah.
No, then
Like,
Chris is like, bet.
No, he's just like, this is fine.
Yeah, like the dog.
Literally, dude, fire all over me. This
Nah.
is fine, man.
So ever since I've known you,
Yes.
you don't drink,
Yes.
you don't smoke, you don't
Yes.
do anything. And there's not a lot of people out there that have the mental game to even do that anymore. As I'm pouring a cocktail in front of you,
Bet.
what made that decision?
Combination of things. I think the main thing is just as a kid, I have a lot of family members on both sides of my family that have had issues with either drinking or drugs that I looked at and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I don't really want that, because it wasn't just like kind of bad. It was like, I mean, to put it simply, my grandma died of lung cancer from smoking most of her life. My one of my uncles like had heroin issues, and like his life got screwed over horribly. And then you have a lot of just drinking and drugs on my mom's side of the family
Yeah.
that I just kind of looked at and how screwed up they kind of got from all that.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, I don't want that. And not to
Yeah.
mention just knowing that addiction is so
It's a
ingrained.
stronghold.
It's so strong in my family that it's like, I probably could be not like get addicted to something, but do I want to risk that? And
Do you want to play the game?
Do I want to play that game? And then it just kind of was like, no. And then at the same time, part of it is also just like, it's drinking and smoking and all that stuff. Like that's so commonplace in like alternative scenes and things around that it's kind of one of those things like, do I want to be just another stereotype with all this stuff? And I'm not one of those straight edge guys that like shaves his head and is like, yeah, straight edge hardcore. Like
Yeah.
that's never been me.
And you never been one to shame either.
No, like for me, if you're drinking or doing drugs or something like that, hey, that's your choice. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't do it, but I'm not going to judge you for it.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I think it's just a combination of that. And then also, I guess I could say partly like, I've always been a strong kind of believer in like mind power kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I like having control. And so like, there's been times when I've got my wisdom teeth pulled and I've been put under.
Oh, dude.
And then those drugs are like, because like I haven't had anything in my system.
Yeah.
Like it was really strong. And so I was knocked out for an extra 30 minutes afterwards than I should have been. And I was really woozy and like not really knowing what was going on. And afterward, I'm like, okay, I really didn't like that feeling.
Yeah.
And it
Like-
just, yeah.
Like growing up, my grandfather, my mom's dad, died of cirrhosis to the liver. He was drinking since
That's
he was
brutal.
like 13, and it's the most fucking disgusting, brutal way to die.
Yeah, that's horrible. I've met somebody with cirrhosis before,
It's
dude.
so
Your
fucked
legs
up.
turn black. Like
Oh,
it's
damn, dude.
So
Yeah.
my grandfather, I think it was like a year before he passed away.
Yeah.
We had to take him to the hospital because we thought he had diabetes because his legs started turning black.
yeah,
But it's this poor circulation from the out. Because when you're not drinking, you're fucking. Something has to do with your veins. They're not pumping enough in.
When you're not drinking.
Yeah, when you're not fucking.
Oh,
drinking.
after you've been
So when it
drinking.
gets to the point where
Yeah.
it's so bad, where you're not drinking when you're asleep, your body doesn't know what the fuck
How
to
to
do,
function.
How
Yeah.
to function.
Shit.
So my grandpa was the type of guy. He would wake up in the morning, go across the street, get a 40-ounce for breakfast, 2 tall cans for lunch,
God.
and 3 40s for dinner.
3, 4.
But he would be functional.
You wouldn't even get drunk at this
No,
point.
just functional. And
Holy crap.
at that point, when we took him to the hospital last time, the year before he died, Dr. Lavion, he's still the family doctor. I still go to him. Everyone still goes to him to this day. He straight told us, like, there's nothing we could do for him. He's like, it's so far on, like, even with a liver transplant, his body's going to reject it.
Yeah.
And, like, there's nothing, so just make him comfortable. He stopped drinking for a year. It got to the point, dude, where my uncles had to go to the liquor store across the street and, like, almost fuck him up because they would keep selling alcohol to my grandpa.
Oh, they would threaten the owners.
Yeah, they would threaten the owners.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
yeah.
So this is when I started understanding, because I wasn't drinking at that time. I was still young. And this is when I started understanding what alcoholism was
yeah.
and what it meant to be this way and what the consequences were. And, you know, I'm high native and Mexican. So my native side of the family was telling me, like, well, genetically, none of us should be doing it
No fire water.
because it's fire water. Like, this is why it fucks us up so hard. And this
Yeah.
is why we get addicted to it so heavily. And probably a month before my grandpa died, the doctor was just like, look, I give him 3 weeks. Give him whatever the fuck he wants. Food, beer, whatever he wants.
Yeah. There, nothing's going to save him.
Nothing's
Yeah.
going to save
Yeah.
him.
Make 'em
No,
happy.
you can literally become so dependent on that it's like if you don't have it in your system, you can't function properly.
Yeah.
But my
And-
grandpa,
yeah.
dude, no mood swings. But here's the thing. Alcoholism is the only thing you could die off from getting clean.
Oh, cold turkey. Cold turkey going
It's
clean.
the only thing you could die of.
Yeah, because I mean, essentially, it's your body starts thinking that it needs it to live, and that's kind of the problem. Is then it doesn't know how to function without it in its system, which
Yeah.
is really weird, but it is true. I mean, it's kind of like think of basically like when people are getting off drugs and they have those withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah.
Just think of that, but as opposed to just their body being in shock for a little bit, it's constantly like that.
Oh,
Yeah, because
God.
it's
And
your
that's-
internal organs.
Yeah, that's what happens if you are strong alcoholic and you just cut like out of nowhere.
Yeah. Fuck. dude.
But like it became a thing, dude.
yeah.
But the thing about cirrhosis is you become constipated. So constipated to the point where the fumes of your shit go to your brain and you have episodes of
Dementia?
dementia. My grandpa didn't know who he was, didn't know who he was, like, it was so fucking bad, dude.
God damn. Dude.
And it was crazy because like everyone loved my grandpa. Like
Yeah.
where he's from, like they have a library named after his mom. Like it was
Yeah.
a big fucking thing. When he died, the whole apartment building like came out and like watched him get wheeled out. And it was at that point I realized like fuck, like alcoholism like is a real thing because like my
Yeah.
dad was an alcoholic, my
Uh-huh.
grandpa's like I
God
come from a
damn.
family of alcoholics.
Yeah.
And I guess the only thing I still drink to this day.
Yeah.
But if you met 6 years ago, Willie, versus now, it's a big fucking leap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I used to be the
Yeah.
guy that used to black out and embarrass himself.
No, I mean,
And
We-
break
we-
people's toilets.
I mean, it's-
Another
have the
story, another
stories.
day.
but I mean, essentially, that was like, I have a lot of friends that like when they were trying to like get a little more clean, they just hang out with me a lot, and I was totally okay with that. Like I was like, sure, because they're like, we just don't know how to. They don't know how to live without it at a certain point, and so
Yeah.
it's like, how do I have fun? How do I do things? And so it's like, yeah, dude, you can just hang out with me. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like whatever, but. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's just after seeing so much of it and how much it destroyed people,
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I'd rather not.
It's super
Do
tough.
you feel
especially-
like
yeah.
like each case is different though, like based
Oh.
on codependency and just having fun, like casual?
Oh, there's totally a difference. I mean,
Yeah.
once again, I can totally see people just going, "Hey, I'm out with my friends, gonna have a beer, whatever, or do a couple shots." Like,
Yeah.
I get that, I think for me, it's just been like, hey, I'm not going to do it. You guys can totally do it. And I'm not going to judge you for it. I'm just going to sit here and have fun with you, if anything.
Yeah.
But, I also never have tried to shift my views onto others.
Right.
Yeah.
I think when I was really young and I wanted, of course, you want that like, hey, people can be like me kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Hey, you should try it. But at the same time, I never got hung up if somebody was like, nah, not for me.
You didn't want to be your own DARE program.
Yeah, because let's be honest, DARE doesn't work.
Dare
so
failed
it
so
fails.
hard, dude.
So, yeah, more than anything, for me, it was a personal decision. And I've never regretted it. I mean,
One thing I always remember about being in a band with Nate, when we like, oh yeah, we got
Extra
drink tickets. We got drink tickets, and then Nate would be like, okay, I'll be like, yeah, dude, we could get Jack and Cokes and shit. He's like, yeah, or like we get beers, and he's like, yeah, and I'll have a Coke.
yeah, that's literally it.
And I'll have a Coke, and I'm like, oh, fucking Nate. Dude.
And it was funny because usually like I'd go up and I'd have it and I'm like, I'm just gonna get a Coke, and he's like, they just give them to me, so then I just give you guys the drink tickets.
Because it was cool because especially at Howl at the Moon, if you told them that you were the designated driver, they'd give you a free soda or whatever.
Yeah, they give you as many as you wanted, so it was fine.
Yeah, they didn't care.
Yeah.
No, like honestly, when I was working at the bars, because like there was a 2-year period where I was working at bars, it got really sad because you see the people who go there casually with their friends every weekend, but you see the people who are there at 2 p.m. when the doors open every single fucking day.
Yeah, and there's a huge difference between those people.
Yeah, and it sucks because like the people who get there at 2 p.m. they're the nicest motherfuckers in the world, but you see them stumbling out. You never have to kick them out. You never have to ask them to calm down. But the moment they get out the door, they're flat on their face.
Yep.
And it sucks because you're just like, fuck, like where did this person's life lead them to get to this
every
to get to
this
point?
Day. Yeah,
straight up.
And then you think to yourself, how the fuck does he afford it?
Like, that's the other
he's
question.
here every fucking day,
and that's usually also just signs of like even issues at home. Like it's a whole slew of things. I mean, once again, there's no problem with anything as long as you have control over it. It's when you start letting that rule yourself and
that's the thing. I guess that's what I was trying to bring up with the bar stuff because like the service industry itself, like. Damn, dude, if I could, like, the stories I have, man, like, I understand now why the service industry, why a lot of these people in the bar industry and the restaurant industry are, like, on coke and drinking all the time.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I gotta say, customer service, I did that for years. And all my coworkers, dude, they would be drinking or doing drugs because, you know what? It was better than what it was like, what they had to deal with on a regular basis to make ends meet. And that kind of was a huge factor in me also just wanting to get my degree and start working because I didn't want to be like that. Like, you have those people they call lifers, and then you're just like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Like, this is your life where you're just going to your customer service job every day just to make ends barely meet.
No, I get what you're saying. And that goes back to the point where I was saying, like, I had to work 10 times harder.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a diploma. I don't have all this. I could easily go back and do it.
Oh, yeah.
But, I told that shit to my uncle. He was like, look, you have an option. You could put your life on hold right now, go get your diploma. But that time has passed. Which wasn't the best advice to give to somebody.
No.
But he was like...
because my parents got their diplomas, like,
because the thing
way
is,
later
my uncle saw my work drive.
Yeah.
Because dude, you put me in a position, like, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. But when I was working the bar scene, dude, that was the only time in my life where I, like, lost complete control.
Damn.
Because the thing is, dude, like, you're walking into a situation where it's 6 o'clock in the morning and you just worked in after hours. You meet up with your bartender friend from the other bar. You start doing what you're doing and you go to the bar at 2 p.m. But then you leave with him at 6 to go to the other bar until 2 a.m. And that is a constant cycle for for 4 days. So it becomes this thing. It's just like lifers. I get that. But now I'm in a position where I'm doing way more. It's just like, lifers are cool and all, but have a fucking plan for your life.
Like
stop living day to day like this job over here at Target is going to get you where you need to go.
It makes sense at a certain point in your life, like when you're young and you got nothing else to do. But once you hit a certain age, or once you experience the world a little bit, you really should consider what you have to do or what you should do to make things a little different,
or what you have to offer.
If you keep doing what you one thing back to like education, I had a 5th grade teacher, Mr. Arthur. This guy, he was one of the toughest fifth grade teachers in our elementary school, but not because the curriculum was hard, but he had standards. Like he set standards. Like he taught us how to be tidy, specifics with pencils or pens that he wanted us to use. Like he was trying to be a role model as far as like what we should strive to be as far as like a professional, even though we're only in fifth grade. But it was just subtle. It was a very subtle thing, you know. And like he would have us volunteer after school to clean the classroom, to carpet. He had carpet, and he would ask us like, "Hey, some of you guys are gonna have to vacuum after school, you know, blah blah blah, you know, or things like that."
Fuck you, Mr. Arthur.
He would, yeah, but it was like he was able to set it up as like you have this sense of duty to be tidy, to be clean, to do all this. And then one thing he would tell us all the time, and I live with it, like this has stuck to me since I was in fifth grade. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting.
Yeah.
And it didn't fucking click to me completely until that semester I wasn't in college.
Yeah.
And I realized that I'm just going to be sitting on this corner doing nothing every night with the same people over and over, because we had no drive to do anything else.
That's the thing. Like, even me and you have people that we don't talk to anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's fucked up to even like, well, when you go through, it's not fucked up, but like when you are with a group of people and they can't keep up with you, not even like mentally, but like where your life is going, and they're still stuck on the same shit. It's like, are you gonna stay there with them?
Yeah.
Are you gonna fucking go and live your fucking life?
Yeah, and that's a huge thing, because it's one thing like if you have a friend that's like, hey, I'm just not, you know, working as long as you are, things like that. Like that's fine. It's if they're able to still have that, hey, I have a goal for myself. And I really think this gets to a weird thing, but like my biggest fear I had in life was like not having purpose.
Yeah.
And so like I think that more than anything else is people that don't have like that, hey, I need to have something that keeps me going. And, you know, there are really dumb ways to have that filled. Like I think some people look for it in, you know, the next relationship, or they look for it
in friends, or in a group,
as
a clique,
as opposed to what they can become.
Mm-hmm.
That becomes an issue, and that's kind of what I look for.
It still becomes codependency.
It becomes codependency.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
that's the worst.
Which is bad, because here's the thing: no one's perfect.
No.
So if you're finding it in other people only, dude, people are only as good as they can be. So it's you got to find it in who you can be.
Yeah, and then you set a high standard for these people that you're with, and you're always going to get disappointed.
Yeah, exactly.
You're always going to get disappointed because you're going to expect so much, because you put them on a pedestal, but they don't put you on that same pedestal.
Exactly.
And you can't expect them to either. And when you get mad at them for expecting them to be, you know, to meet your standards, or for you guys to be on that same, it's terrible. It's fucked up. It's so dumb. It's counterproductive.
No,
and you're just going to be alone. You're just going to be alone, and you're never going to progress.
And it destroys everything. So I mean, it's one of those things where you got to find, I mean, it's this cliche thing, but you need to have love for yourself.
Yeah.
Like it's not even just like, because a lot of people go, oh, well, I can't be in a relationship till I love myself. It's like, well, yeah, that's true. But also in terms of just how you live, if you can't find joy in what you're doing, there's really like no point.
Yeah.
And so that's really what it comes down to. Yeah. And I mean, once again, getting back to education, learning those lessons is important.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much
but
so.
That's where it trickles down to.
Yeah.
You spend the first 12 years of your fucking educational life around these people, around people who you call your peers, and you grow up. I only have one friend from elementary school to this day, Daniel. I've known him for 20 years. And me and him have never put each other on a pedestal that we can't accomplish. But the thing is, the same thing with me, Memo, Chris, you, like, a lot of our friends. We don't expect anything from each other, but we know when we're fucking up.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's not, don't expect anything from this person, but know when to call them out when they're fucking up, and when not only call them out, but help them out.
Yeah.
And don't be a crutch for them, but be like, hey man, like what the fuck is
going on here?
Yeah. Because too many people end up on the other side of the fence and just start chewing you out, pointing out your flaws and all that, and it becomes so counterproductive. It becomes the worst thing ever. It's so fucked up. Rather than being like, hey, you got this problem, I've noticed, let's figure it out.
Well, that also dives into like cancel culture.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, dude. It's fucked up.
I feel like cancel culture in small groups is so toxic.
It is.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's like this is your friend for fucking 20 years,
and you're gonna get mad at them for screwing up once. Like, I think that we're all allowed to have those moments of growth, and especially like, I mean, dude, the person I was like, you know, back when I graduated versus who I am now, there's a lot of difference there. Like, I was manic depressive back when I was like first graduating and getting out. I had a lot of issues in my mental health, and it took me a while to figure that out. And I did things that were counterproductive for myself, and I couldn't explain why. But once again, I grew out of that. You got to let people have that room and talk to them about it. Because, I mean, I remember you would talk to me about certain things, and I'd be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, let me figure that out really quick. It's growth mindset, I guess.
When you put people in a box, there's no growth in that fucking box.
No.
You can't do anything. But like, that also comes to the same conclusion with like the way a lot of school systems are set up now.
Yeah.
Especially like when I was going to LASD, it's like we were all put in a standardized test box.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, dude, I mean, you know, you have to move forward. You have to do what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
And make sure you're not making the same mistakes your fucking parents made or them before you made.
You got to learn.
Yeah.
You got to learn.
No, and I mean, the other thing too is, I mean, just to kind of push on that, like, you know, I have my students that don't really speak English well.
Yeah.
And so the thing I do is like essays, I do expect them to try to do it in English, but I don't grade them harshly on like grammar and writing and things like that. Did they get their idea out right? Okay, cool. That's good enough for me at the moment. We can work on grammar later.
Yeah.
But even with like poetry, I'm just like, if you're more comfortable writing in Spanish, write it in Spanish. I can have somebody translate it for me. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'd prefer you get your ideas and your thoughts out more than anything else.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you bring that, like, you have kids that don't speak a lot of English.
Yeah.
6th grade was when I really learned about, like, racism in school systems, because 6th grade year, I was put in ESL.
Because
I don't
of your
speak
last name?
fucking Spanish, bro. And I remember I went a whole semester in ESL, and my dad saw my report card. He was like, why are you in ESL? And because like a lot of the ESL packets were in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm failing because I don't fucking speak Spanish.
All he knew was
none
saca
of
la
the teachers,
bolsita.
dude, none of the teachers ever questioned it. No one said shit. My dad marched down to the school and was like, you're fucking telling me because my kid's brown, you fucking put him in ESL. And you fucking had him do this. And my dad like broke it down to me. My dad was like, this is what it means to be a person of color. Like, and that summer before my dad died, my dad took me to work with him every fucking day. And that's the same thing with your 5th grade teacher. Like, that's where I get that drive.
That drive.
Yeah.
Dude, like fucking 5 a.m. waking up every morning, going to fucking work. He'd pay me $20 a week. Child labor laws, bro.
Dude, yeah. No,
He gave you an allowance.
essentially, yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
But yeah, no, I totally get that. I mean, for me, even just watching my family, my dad like worked hard forever. Like even now, I mean, he's oh man, that wasn't a good burp. Okay, so anyways,
I thought you got emotional.
I thought you were about to cry.
My father.
My father. No. I mean, just most of my life.
God rest his soul. He's still alive, but God rest his soul.
No, but he. I always remember him coming back home late. Like I'd see him on the weekends, but you know he'd get back home usually like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and he'd leave 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like every day. And even now, like he works over with James Cameron on the current Avatar films right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
nice.
they're all doing it from home now, and he's
Dancing
like,
with
it's great.
Smurfs.
Well, are you confirming that there's gonna be another Avatar movie?
They already confirmed
yeah,
that publicly.
there's
There's
gonna be
a couple more.
Yeah, there's
I
going to be a
haven't-
couple more. He's working on them right now.
What rock
So-
have you been under, big boy?
So I mean, essentially though, with that, he used to have to drive all the way to Manhattan Beach because that's
God.
where his studio's at
Oh fuck.
from the valley. So
He had to drive over to Manhattan.
and he did that Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturdays, driving back and forth. And so it's one of those things where I'm just like, holy crap. So I've had that kind of like initial, like, you got to work hard for what you're doing,
Yeah.
which has been good. But yeah, I mean, just about anything you do in life, the drive is one of the key factors.
Absolutely.
Very
And
much so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you trying to install in your kids? Like,
Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing. One of the things
I thought you meant like his children.
No,
No,
his
I was
students.
like,
No, my
I don't
students.
think he has kids.
I do not have kids. But
Into your guinea pigs? Yeah.
into my guinea pigs, yes. You gotta fight for your
You
lettuce,
gotta
man.
fight for your rights, dude. You gotta
Work
fight for
hard.
what you want. Work hard, guinea.
Get your lettuce.
tell my
No.
wife you don't want to be in that cage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, teaching basic stuff, like, it's more about the work than it is the product is a
Yeah.
big thing. So that's why I give also students a chance, like, hey, you turn this in the first time, didn't get the grade you wanted. If you edit it and bring it back to me, I'll give you more points. So making sure they have that option to do better, actually do the work. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Fucking Nate, teacher of the future over here.
Punk rock teacher of the future, dude. All right, let's move aside from education.
No, I actually wanted to bring up something.
Okay, what?
No, not education, but you just got your ancestry results.
Oh, dude, I did.
Oh, Brad.
Yeah, I didn't. They're not mine. I didn't do it, but my sister did it. So I'm gonna assume it's the same shit, or más o menos the same.
We hope,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I told this for yesterday. I'm like, you're probably adopted, dude.
Don't do it. Or she's adopted, or who knows?
We don't know this.
She actually ran some names by my mom, and she's like, oh yeah, that's my grandpa's her dad's relative. So yeah,
Wow.
that's legit. So from what I recall, I believe we're 47% Spaniard and 33% native, like Mexican American, like American, like Native American Indian.
Yeah,
but from the south, from like Mexico area, so that area. But then we're
Makes
also
sense.
5% Portuguese. And everything else
could
is
tie in with the Spain.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, the rapists.
Yeah.
Well,
and-
they were neighbors, so
Yeah, rapists, and they totally destroyed other people's cultures without any care or
Yeah.
anything else. And we are 1%. We have a couple of percentages in Africa, like everyone does.
everybody has that.
Yeah, because the cradle of civilization, Africa, and we have. I think 1% is in Pakistan, like that area. Yeah, but that would make sense because of
that's
Spain.
1%.
Yeah,
But because of Spain.
But I mean, also,
huh.
you did have, weirdly enough, because one thing I found out, because Exene was doing a lot of that stuff as well, was there was actually a lot of, if you have a Z in your last name,
Yeah, that's me.
which you actually do have a little bit of Jewish in you somewhere,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is interesting. It's at least with Spanish
Lachaim.
names, that's actually part of it.
What?
Oh,
Wessel.
nice,
Yeah.
dude. Well, Z. Yeah, Wezo.
Because if you notice, there's also last
Hernan-
names that have with an S.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
there's Hernandez with an S, and then there's
So
Hernandez.
my last name ends with a Z. But
But
before World War II,
Yeah.
my grandfather was drafted in World War II,
Yeah.
and they changed his last name from Casares to Casares.
Yeah.
So my last name's supposed to end with this S, but it's a Z now.
Yeah. There's some of that also. Like, I mean, even my
Especially Italians.
my Italian side of the family, same
Hey.
thing. So it was, they changed it to Felicia when they came through Ellis Island, but it's really Felicicia is
Oh,
really
shit.
the full pronunciation. But
Yeah.
they changed that stuff.
Yeah. Because they're like, that's too hard.
That's too hard. You're
It's
just gonna
too
be,
fucking hard.
It's gonna make that easy.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's make it
Did
Felicia.
you ever think about changing
Fellatio.
it back?
About what?
Did you ever think about changing it back?
Well, you're Schultz,
Well,
right?
there's a long story there.
Yeah.
But I have my mom's last name,
Oh.
her maiden name.
Mhm.
So it's Schultz. And the process of changing last names is like, it costs way too much money.
Oh, because then wouldn't Exene have to change her last name too? Then And
yeah,
it would just be
it's just we've had hard enough trouble just changing her last name.
God damn,
So
dude.
it's just like, and I was like, look, I'm cool with you keeping your original last name. She's like, no, I want to do it. I'm like, okay, sure.
Fine.
But yeah, I mean, just in general, all that stuff's really interesting when you actually start going and doing the history. Like,
Yeah.
and it's harder for certain cultures. Like, once again, Spaniards destroyed so much of that
Yep.
past history and things like that.
Mhm.
And even then, like, even Asian cultures, you can only get so far back because the
Yeah.
warring different states would go in and destroy all the records of different areas.
That kind of makes me
Yeah.
like I had this thought one day, like, you know how people say, like, if you had a time machine, when would you travel to, or like what time in history?
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, oh, I want to go back to meet my grandparents, or they want to do something stupid like that, or I want to go back to this, I want to go live in the okay, this is another digression, but I fucking hate those bice ass bitches. Men and women, or what, these fucking idiots, they're like chuntis, like these fucking wannabe rockabilly bitches. They're like, I want to go back to the 50s because the 50s were so blah blah blah. It's like,
yeah, you wouldn't be welcome there.
you wouldn't be welcome, dude.
No,
you
But,
fucking wetback.
I just pulled up my ancestry DNA results.
Yeah.
We're leaving it on the fucking wetback.
Okay.
Yeah, I
God
stopped
damn
you
it.
right there. So,
But no,
Cancel.
I was gonna get to something really significant.
okay, go ahead.
That was just a side story. But what I was saying was, one of the things that I would want to go back to is before they burned the Library of Alexandria.
Dude,
Oh.
that definitely. The other time period as well is before Spaniards destroyed all the records of the Aztecs.
You guys are trying to change the entire history of what we live now.
Well, because there's so much that's been
wiped.
Or the writing of the Rosetta Stone,
yeah,
and the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yep.
The other day I had to explain yesterday actually I had to explain to somebody why I wouldn't step foot on a mission.
Oh yeah, on it,
and they had no idea. I'm like, do you understand? Like that's where my ancestors were taken to be killed and
exactly and be completely stripped of their culture.
It is so sad, dude. Because like at the back of the Stafford Down mission, there's a plaque that says this is where the Native Americans came and worked, and they loved it. But this is how many of them died.
It's like they did not love it. That's the thing, is that it's the basically changing of what actually happened that we were talking about earlier.
It's just history. But I pulled up my ancestry results. Native Americans 63% from northeastern Mexico and South Texas.
Nice.
And then it goes down 16% Spaniard.
Wow. You're very diluted.
4% French, 4% Portuguese, 3% Turkey, Caucasus, 2% Irish.
Willie, you're whiter than me, dude.
Yeah, 1% European Jewish.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, L'chaim.
And then it goes like Norway, Basque, Senegal.
Wow. Yeah, I have part. Yeah, I think everyone has a little.
But it goes into Senegal. It.
I think so too.
After the Spanish
conquistadors,
we moved to Mexico City.
Oh, your family's lineage.
My lineage ran to Mexico City, which is now Mexico City. Yeah. So I might have a lot of Casarises out in Mexico.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, dude. I'm sure. Oh, yeah. I'm sure if you went into like Mexico City or around that area, like you're gonna find a shit ton of people that are distantly related to you. But
yeah. I mean, for me, like the thing is, my ancestry, I can go back so far, and once again, it's because I'm white, so it's not hard for me to go that far back. Like
because it was recorded.
Yeah, and literally, I can go back to BC.
God damn,
it's insane, like how far back I can go back.
A, dude.
Yeah, but like once again. That's because there were people in my family that actually did something.
Oh, they actually cared to take care of it, like figure it out.
Some royalty stuff back that time. Because when you have somebody that is royal blood in your family, those are the only lines they cared about. So that's the only ones that you'll find.
Yeah.
But now because we're all so convoluted, at least just because everybody has had basically kids with every single thing, it's everybody's mixed up in that way. So it's just like, okay.
Around the world.
Yeah, I think the weirdest one I found was like I'm related to this guy called William Longsword. Like this guy, like the reason
William Longsword,
dude, that's some big dick energy right there, dude.
Dude, in battle, he wielded a sword as big as his body. That's why he was called that.
Okay, when did he die? How did he die?
So the first battle.
No. He actually was.
He actually accomplished shit.
Yeah, no. There's like statues of him in some places.
Oh shit!
Like he basically like. During early Normandy, when that was being formed, was like working for the Duke there or something like that. I don't know. Like it's really weird.
Duke Wellington.
Yes, Duke Wellington of Normandy. I don't know, but no, basically, like I just things like that. I'm like, okay, that's kind of rad. But but once again, I can do that because I can go so far back.
Yeah,
and it's one of those things. So many records have been destroyed, so you don't really like. So much of history is just gone. And so,
you know who does a good job at retelling history?
Who?
And I don't know if you're ever going to show your students these movies when you go back in the classroom.
Oh, hell yeah.
Monty Python.
Oh, dude, I love Monty Python.
Hell yeah, dude. Life of Brian?
Dude.
Fuck, that is perfect.
I have all the like Monty Python DVDs.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm kind of... I don't know if I don't trust, but I don't see myself doing that ancestry stuff.
And not even like 23andMe, Ancestry, all that.
I don't know if I'm just being paranoid.
Are you afraid
because
of what
sending
you
your
might
DNA?
find out?
No. Sending your DNA to people.
They have like a collection of like everyone's DNA.
Oh, what'll they do afterwards?
Well,
with it?
that's how they're able to test.
Well, yeah, and I just don't.
Okay,
well,
but you give blood when you go to the doctor.
I haven't gone to the doctor.
But dude,
there's DNA samples of you somewhere.
The NSA has everything you've ever searched on the internet.
Yeah.
Like
so I guess is it at this point where
we'll
you
have
just
a field day with that, won't they?
Who
Dude?
has your privacy?
Well, dude, you give your thumbprint to Apple.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. Like at this point, there's no such thing as privacy.
No, but then when you go with DNA, it's like they can clone you, dude. Like if they can find out how to clone you, they're gonna be another Chris walking around speaking French.
This is actually I've heard somebody give a legitimate reason for that stuff, which is basically has to do with health insurance. So basically they can track to see what you might be able to get
Pre-existing conditions?
for pre-existing conditions, and then charge you more for that
Shut
stuff.
the fuck up.
Yeah. That's the thing they're
Damn.
more worried about.
Fuck. Scammers, dude.
You know, that's actually been an ongoing joke in my family, like from one of my aunts. So, like, you have depression, alcoholism.
Oh no, your family, like you'll get one of three, right?
You have cancer, depression, alcoholism, and what was that? Diabetes on both sides of the family.
Yeah.
You guys are bound to catch something.
No, that's kind of the main fear I've heard, which I'm like, okay, that's actually legitimate.
Yeah, that makes sense because especially with the American diet.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
we're so like I ate more probably when I was in the Philippines, but because everything's like not processed and full of sugar,
You lost weight.
I lost weight. I was really skinny when I got back.
Oh, dude, when he came back, he was dark and skinny.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
dude?
I know. It was weird.
Nate 2.0, dude.
When you were in the Philippines, were you able to talk to people out here?
No.
I mean, letters. That's it.
Yeah. Nate and I exchanged letters.
Dear
once.
love,
Dear
the
love.
battlefield is hard and very treacherous, but I write you because the South is winning once again.
Oh my god,
goodness.
dude! Big hug, big kiss, little hug, little kiss, little kiss, big hug.
You know,
big
hey, do you
kiss.
remember that time we helped Memo out for his film class?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
we brought this up
Okay.
in the last one that you played Esqueleto
Esqueleto,
for Nacho
yeah.
Libre. Oh,
So,
dude.
okay, so I didn't bring this up with John because I knew you were going to come on this week.
Okay.
You know the guy who played Chancho, the little kid?
Yeah.
He is like a very popular drag queen now.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's fucking
Dude,
crazy.
good for
dude.
him.
Like very popular. And I was just like, what the fuck? Because like, and the only reason I learned about this is because there was some guy on TikTok claiming that he was Chancho. And then some guy was like, oh, nah, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
This is the real
And
Chancho.
Dude was like, God damn, bro.
It was some RuPaul shit.
Hey,
dude.
I mean, dude, good for him. Living
Good
out
for
what he
him.
wants
No,
to do.
Chancho, I would
Which-
never leave you.
Let me borrow some-
He still has some sweats for me to
still
borrow.
has some sweats for me to borrow. He
Yeah.
puts on a mask.
And to give me his
Damn,
mom's lucky
dude.
machete. Just, yeah.
Oh, dude, that's so funny.
Man, that's rad, though.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty funny. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I kind of wanted to go back on. In a brief summary, what were your I want to know how you felt about your experience in the music scene growing up from as a kid until now. Like, how has the music scene shaped you? Because you were very active since way younger, dude.
Yeah.
Way before me. I never got really into the scene until I was with Nate
Yeah.
in a band. Like, what were like a crazy story, something that like really just kind of like shaped like, oh dude, I'm gonna keep doing this. Like, I want
So-
to keep being in music.
I think one of the first things when I was 14,
Yeah.
I went to the show at a place called the Airliner. I'm not sure if it's still there or not.
Probably not, dude.
Now
probably
now
not.
probably not.
The
It's probably-
airliner's still there.
Oh, it's
it
still
is?
there.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know
okay.
exactly what you're talking about.
So they weren't always a 21 plus venue. For a while they were doing all ages stuff.
Yeah.
And I went to go see a couple bands. It was The Freeze and Bad Reaction were playing one night.
Oh hell yeah.
And I met like a lot of people that at that show that I ended up kind of keeping in contact with. We made bands together and things like that. Like Jimmy was there.
Oh,
as
Jimmy,
an
Nogway.
Yeah,
shout out to Nogway.
Yeah,
shout out
exactly.
to Jimmy, Steve.
Yeah.
all you foos.
So I went to that show and, I didn't know anybody there originally. Like my dad loved The Freeze because they were an older hardcore band and things like that.
Yeah.
And while I'm waiting, I'm talking to him and we find out they're all from Burbank. We're like, wait, what? Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And
Dude, when you
Then-
find out who came from Burbank in the scene, you're just like, oh, dude,
it's
what
crazy.
the fuck?
yeah, and so I was like, whoa, okay, so there's other people that are into punk and hardcore besides me.
Yeah.
Sweet, because I thought I was like a random minority of that.
Yeah.
So then what happens was the security guards came up to us like, hey, do you have your ID? And I'm like, this is all ages, like it said on the flyers. And they're like, well, no, it's not. And so the dudes from Bad Reaction saw that we were leaving, like, hey, what's going on? They're like, they're kicking us out because we're not of age. And he's like, and then the main vocalist, Cash, kind of was like, hey, just go into the alleyway right by the door. And so they're playing. Cash kicks open the door and starts singing for us right in the alleyway.
Holy shit.
And gave us like a bunch of free like little merchandise stuff because they felt bad about it. And I remember just like that kind of like sense of community like that.
Yeah.
And like, hey, you can't do this, but that doesn't mean we can't have fun, kind of a thing,
Yeah.
and like breaking rules in some way.
Yeah.
And like I heard them saying, they're like, dude, the kids in their back are cooler than you guys. You guys are just sitting here drinking your beers. They're back there like slamming it up. And so like that was really cool for me. And then I met a bunch of people that were into it, and we kind of started making music. And then also just that sense of DIY and then doing things the hard way because you just don't know what you're supposed to do, and trial and error. Like I've kind of taken that with me since then. Like, you know, hey, do it yourself, figure it out. You know, obviously as I've gotten older, you learn and you kind of grow and are able to do more.
Yeah, you figure out how to like, find a way to do these things.
Yeah, I mean, dude, do you remember the first time we made the Lockjaw CD for Rusty Nails?
Dude.
We printed that out on paper from Kinko's.
Wait, are we talking about? Okay, we're talking about Rusty Nails.
Yeah.
We're not even talking about the fucking what was it? The out here in Panorama, out by Panorama. We did a 3-song demo.
Yeah, exactly, which was horrible.
Dude.
That we actually went to we went to like our rehearsal studio, and they could record, and so we just brought a blank CD and recorded the session. It sounded so bad.
Oh, it was so.
I still have
bad.
that.
I still have it too, dude. I still have. Well, it's up. Oh
Yeah.
no, it isn't. What's up is
The Backyard Show.
No, you know what? It is. It's on SoundCloud.
Oh, it is on SoundCloud.
I have it on SoundCloud. I gotta find the
man.
SoundCloud. Fuck. But anyways, continue. Yeah.
So yeah,
we did a lot of DIY shit.
Yeah, where we'd write on the disc with a Sharpie and then print out everything. Cut it out.
We hand drew the fucking flyer to go to the backside show.
Yeah. All that stuff. So like that DIY
Rest in peace.
ethic is just. Oh yeah, no, I miss that place.
Oh
and now it's like
my
a workout place.
I don't even know, dude. I don't
Well,
walk
according
around
to his
there.
Instagram, he's opening another location on San Fernando.
George?
Yeah.
Oh, rad.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Hopefully it's not just a clothing store though. Like, damn, bro.
That was a mistake on their part.
No, but you know what? No, it was. I don't think it was.
It had to be done
because vinyl did not get its like fucking recognition that it has.
Well, that's
now.
why Jeremy stopped working.
Well,
before.
Jeremy, yeah.
I talked to
Jeremy
Jeremy.
stopped working because of Touche, dude.
No,
Like, he
not
got
just
busy.
that. He actually was fine with it. I talked with him a little bit about it. Jeremy, like I was asking him like kind of what happened. He's like, well, the main issue is he'd go on tour, and before he was on tour, like he'd make sure things were ordered and in there, and they'd be making money from it. And he'd come back and they weren't ordering the proper vinyl again, and would have to redo it. And he was just like, it was too much work for me to make sure things were running, which that's more what the issue was. So like they were doing good because vinyl was coming back at a certain point.
Yeah.
And right now it's still in full flux.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I think a report just came out that vinyl did better than CD sales and MP3 sales this year.
Yeah.
All these kids are out there buying Crosleys.
Yeah.
And all that shit. Like
ruining their vinyls, but
ruining their fucking vinyls.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, luckily I'm not using that. But it's still like, once again, that's kind of what happened. But yeah, getting back to music stuff, like it's just one of those things. You figure it out for yourself. And I think I've taken that to a lot of what I've done since then. Just, you take more pride in things that way.
Yeah, definitely, dude. So basically, a lot of your work ethic comes from the punk scene.
A lot of it. And then also just, staying true to who you are as well. Because like the thing is like so much of what we have in society is like, hey, you got to build yourself around these things. But, alternative punk and hardcore is so much just like, who cares? Like, you want to wear a dress when you're on stage? Go ahead and do it. You want to...
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you want to put out a random record that's not punk and hardcore? Go for it.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
It's so much just like, hey, just do something you can be proud of. Have fun with it.
Yeah, there's no real, like, guideline to punk anymore.
No, there is none.
I think, like, the saddest thing to come out of, like, the election, this past election, that was one of my favorite bands, Chemical.
Oh.
One of my favorite fucking bands, dude. And I'm going to say his fucking name because... we've talked it out before, and we just agreed not to talk about it again or talk to each other.
So you're bringing it up here.
Ben Keeney, the lead singer of Chemical.
Yeah.
He called me out on like this liberal post I posted, and this was like the most punk motherfucker in Van Nuys.
Yeah.
And now he's like a right wing, like send those motherfuckers back across the border,
build a wall,
like MAGA, and it's like, dude, what the fuck? He's like, well, this is like. Dude, like it's punk, bro. I can say what I want. I'm like, bro, but come on.
That's not no.
You're fucking it up.
Like, did you ever listen to the Dead Kennedys lyrics for real, man? Because that's kind of the opposite. Like, I mean, that's the thing is when people are like, oh no, it's right wing. I'm like, no, it's not. It really isn't. Like, you can't. Like I love like that whole mentality. It's like, oh well, it's punk rock to be Republican. It's like, no, it really is not. Because
you're just being an asshole at this point.
Honestly, dude, it's not even punk rock to be liberal, like heavy liberal, like at all.
It's once again, you're conforming to the status quo at that point, and that's the thing. No, I consider myself a leftist because it's like things need to change.
I hate it when motherfuckers like you're fucking liberal. It's like, dude, no. Look. Here's my thing. As an adult now, I have very right wing point of views and I have very left wing point of views.
Yeah,
but I'm able to understand the middle.
Yeah, man. You don't dance. You just pull up your pants and do the rock away.
Yeah,
and lean back, lean left. Yes, just lean left.
Yes, no, and I mean that's the thing. Is like once again. It's funny because when people say, "Oh, radical liberal" or whatever, when you're talking about things like healthcare and like basic things, like that's not radical. Most other countries have that.
Yeah, dude. Like
housing.
Not new, dude.
No,
it's not a new idea.
Housing, water. That's a human right.
That's a human right. Like exactly. It's like
I think in LA, it's like for every 4 homeless people in LA, there's 3 vacant homes.
Exactly. So it's insane. And not to mention that number is going to go up if someone doesn't happen about housing issues right now.
Well, no, in Van Nuys actually, I just shared it with this
guy.
God
damn it!
Because
dude.
I always make fun of Memo with golf. I'm like, you're one shirt away of joining the Young Republican Party. we actually had a conversation yesterday because there's a golf course out here, Woodley Park.
Woodley Parks is okay.
They want to get rid of the 18 hole in the Woodley Golf Course to build low income housing for homeless. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, well. They should do it in Van Nuys because
they should get rid of the fucking Van Nuys course, dude.
It's like it's better air quality, and it's like, dude, it's
I didn't say better air quality. Say, like, no, this is what I said. They should get rid of the 18 hole in Van Nuys because they don't fucking maintain it. It is the driest, worst shit in the world, and it's one of the worst golf courses in LA. And I wouldn't mind if they got rid of the Van Nuys golf course. I'm sorry. I had fun there this morning on the 9 hole, but dude, you guys do not take care of it. What I was saying was like, but it would still not be the best area because it's under a fucking airstrip. It's right next to the runway of the airport.
And then I said, well, it's homeless housing. He's like, oh, so what? They don't deserve good air quality?
Yeah,
we're one step away from the Young Republican Party now.
Yeah,
golf changed you.
Dude. Yeah, I told this fool that I was like, come on, dude, don't direct it at me when I could just back at you, bro.
Blame the golf. No.
Blame the golf. Don't blame the politicians, dude. Blame the golf.
It's all the golf.
Don't blame districting. Blame golf. I don't know, dude. It's fucked up, but Canada. I get the notion. But I agree with the notion, though. Like, yes, we do need to figure out this. Not the homeless problem, because the homeless aren't the problem. The problem is them being homeless.
Well, LA wants to ignore it.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Like, they just want to push it away, brush it under the rug.
When I was working at bars, you know how many fucking tourists I would get that would come in? And they'd be like, oh, I never knew how many homeless, how big the homeless issue was out here. What I'm worried about is the Olympics.
And the property value.
Because what's going to happen during the Olympics is the same thing that happened last time. They're going to push back Skid Row.
Yep.
They're going to push, and a lot of people are going to die.
Yep.
A lot of people are going to die. But the last 5 years, they've been trying to plant stories into Skid Row, like measles. They had a measles outbreak.
Didn't they have a hepatitis A, B, and C fucking outbreak out
LA Can, shout out to LA Can. They work on Skid Row, and they pass bills for Skid Row.
Yeah.
LA Can was the one that actually helped Skid Row become its own city.
Mm-hmm.
They proved that there was not one single case of measles or hepatitis.
Yeah.
You know what's actually crazy too is when you said like people can't believe that there are people that are homeless out here.
Yeah.
Dude, same thing in the Philippines. I tell people, they're like, oh yeah, there's a lot of homeless people out here, not like by you. I'm like, no, there's actually a lot of homeless people out by me too, and they just couldn't believe it. Because once again, we are seen as one of the richest countries in the world.
Or a superpower.
And yet all that money really just goes abroad to fighting more wars. It doesn't stay here. And that's the one thing I don't think that they fully understand, and it's still the issue we have.
Yeah.
Well, what is it like? We have a military base in almost every other country, but
we do.
But there's not a Chinese military base out here.
Nope.
There's not a Russian military, but it's a scare tactic.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to have Cold War.
Once again, Team America, World Police.
Yeah.
We allow them to have
America. Fuck yeah.
We allow them to have consulates out here, but we have to.
Yeah.
But here's my thing too, and I actually had a conversation with my boss about it. My boss is Jewish, right?
Mm-hmm.
She immigrated to Mexico from Israel. She came to America, and she was able to get papers like that because of the Israeli consulate, because America backs Israel to the fullest.
Yep.
But we were talking about, she's like, I don't understand how Mexican immigrants take so fucking long to get papers.
Yeah. It's, once again, and I still think it's hilarious that they're talking about, oh, we got the Statue of Liberty, it's, you know, people that can pull themselves up. It's like, it's never been that. Dude, the people that came from Ireland and from Italy, they had nothing.
They were prosecuted.
They were prosecuted and all that, but guess what? They still came here and became citizens.
Yeah, man.
So why is it, it's, once again, it's gets back to race.
It's
literally it.
Yeah, it gets back to race hardcore, dude. Yeah, it sucks.
It does.
It's fucking terrible, dude. Yeah. Day with
Man, I love how we like did a full circle back to this.
Yeah, I was trying to change the subject, talking about like punk rock and all that.
It all ties in.
It all ties in.
It's all connected.
You know, I was actually talking to Memo last night about SLC Punk.
Oh yeah, because we were talking about Scream.
Matthew Lillard. I honestly think Matthew Lillard is like the most underrated actor.
Oh, he's fantastic.
Fantastic. But SLC Punk in its way showed how punk was like a way of life, but that whole like anarchist type aesthetic was like really a phase. And like even Against Me brought it up too.
Yeah.
Like I've been involved in a lot of movements. Anarchy is like the status quo.
Dude, honestly, that's the thing is like I've never found a place where anarchy works. So it doesn't work. Like in my head, it's like the whole thing is just we need basic human rights as the main focus.
Well, look at communism.
And that's the thing is like communism. The issue that they had is there's never been a real communist country.
There's never been somebody who wanted to give up the power.
Yeah, and that's always how it is. So, yeah.
No one wanted to be a collective mind.
No, because
I think Chris could pull it off though.
Yeah, be a communist. What?
No. You want a communist leader?
Red, yeah, dude.
I could see you. I could see you in the Fidel fit.
Oh,
I'd
bro.
be a pretty good leader.
Yeah, man. You fill out those
I don't
those
want it
cargo
forever.
khakis, bro.
Bunch of cigars.
I don't want it forever, but when I retire, I would still like, to be treated nice and with the women, the cocaine. I want all of it. After,
fucking Chris.
I could do it.
You can do it.
I'll be fair. I'll be like
I could believe that. I could dig it.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Yeah.
Thanks,
yeah.
That means a lot.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah.
Well, guys, this has been Anything for the Podcast. My name is Willie.
I am Chris.
And I am Memo.
I'm Nate.
Nate, before we sign off, is there anything you want to let the audience know? Any last messages you have?
I mean, just in general, be good to each other. And, things suck, but do your best.
Hell yeah, dude. They do. All right,
have a good one, guys.
Take care. All right. See you guys next week.
Later.